Yes.
You know, you don't need to pause it because you don't have to really pause. You don't have another place to do it. Someone has to fix it in.
Yeah, we don't have a laptop.
You get recorded.
Yeah.
And you're looking at what's going on drawing. You're gonna. You let that out there.
No, this is.
It is.
It is. Okay.
Okay. You know. Yes.
Hey, Kevin. How are you? Good.
We were talking from page.
Yeah, so nice to meet you. Yeah. 2 weeks ago wasn't the time.
Yeah.
Okay, how you doing?
Hey, looking forward to working with you. Likewise. Yes.
I don't know if they figured it out, but
Figure out.
they can have that.
Absolutely.
Cause I'm sure there's messages.
Sorry, that's it.
Relevant.
Carl, I think I gave you the trustee, not the. I think I grabbed the wrong agenda because that's a library trustee. One I got anyway.
It's on the wall.
Yeah, I know, that's where I got it from. And you had the trustee agenda instead of.
Networks. Yeah, if you, yeah, on the wall is the password.
That's what I use.
Oh, there is
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a stack of them.
Yeah, it is. You think you're welcome.
But if you're
I do it fast.
if you're chairing, somebody else should be taking minutes, so I can do that.
Again. Anybody else want an agenda?
That's the.
Yeah. I'll make a copy tomorrow.
I'll do the copy of minutes of the last meeting.
No.
Terry, do you have minutes of the last meeting?
They're on
Online.
Online, they're on the website.
Okay.
They were sent out.
Were they? I went through looking for all.
You know why? Cause they go out through the website and you're not subscribed.
There's
Yeah, okay.
there's the base copy.
in the folder of the
You can read my hand scratching.
tonight's meeting in the folder there was. Online.
So many papers there.
Too many.
Oh,
Too many. So Patty, do you lead us again until we,
I don't think so.
or do we just go? with it?
I think you have to just do what you, I don't think I
You've
have
been
anything
busy
to do
cooking
with
today,
the
too?
meeting.
You've been busy today cooking today too?
Yeah,
When you ride
Sorry.
around or?
no, that's all right. I was hoping, that's all.
I heard to ask.
That's right, that's right. Worth a try, right? Good with that. Okay. 7:01, I believe. Call to order. We have, let's see, we have Carl, Rob, myself for the select board. We have Kate, our assistant. Thank you, Kate. We have Jenny Telke Moonak, treasurer. Patty, town clerk. We have Robert McMahon. Crystal Hire. Pete Stevenson. Rita Hanson, did I?
Peter, are you the town health officer? Used to be.
Years ago.
But not
Nina.
currently.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can say it anywhere.
I'm not used to homes or parking spots.
Popular place tonight. Okay, did everybody hear that? Did I miss anybody? Carl, Robin, myself, Kate, Jenny, Patty, Robert McMahon, Peter Stevenson, Crystal Hire, Rita Hanson, and Nita Birch Clay. Okay, first thing we should do is reorganize the board. As we know, Robin is appointed until town meeting. Isaac was our vice chair. He's been our acting chair since the resignation of Herb. Anybody got any thoughts or?
Where's the other two members tonight?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you have
Yeah.
to wait for everybody. to
I
be
know.
around.
Yeah.
Well, Isaac is expecting a delivery tonight, I do
Oh.
believe.
Yeah.
I'd be good excuse.
So he's not
You
gonna-
better be home.
he's not gonna be here. John, I don't know.
Sean sent an email
Yeah.
You did?
that said
I
it couldn't
looked
come
like
tonight.
15 minutes ago.
Oh, it was earlier, it was last night or early this morning.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Okay. Isaac said he would abide by the wisdom of the
The
board.
wisdom of the board.
So,
Go ahead, Pat.
well, it's not really my, as an observer,
Yeah,
I think that it's too big of a job for Isaac to have as a permanent job.
I
And
agree.
especially without the experience, he's only got less than a year experience and you're going into budget season, you need someone with some experience to be chair. That's all I will say. I mean, Isaac's done an outstanding job, but it's just too much, especially if he's gonna have a brand new baby at home, he's gonna be distracted with that. That's a
And
full-time job.
I am hoping that Terry is willing to segue into the chair position.
I was hoping you'd be willing to segue into the chair position. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Are you willing to?
You'd be willing?
No, I said, are you willing to?
Pretty sure I heard you say. you'd be
No.
willing. Um, I would be willing to. I mean, my concern is, I'm here till March. So it's a
Right.
short, it's a, short term.
Well, I would, you've got a wealth of parliamentary experience, more than any of us or all of us added together probably. I'd love to see you do it if you're willing, and I would entertain, if we could do that, I would say I would nominate you as chair and Isaac continue as vice chair. And I'll stay as clerk until March, and then we'll see. Hopefully we can twist your arm to run again in March, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Or burn that bridge when you get to it.
You'll change in March again anyway, because the new board will have to
Yeah.
vote in their officers.
Right.
Yeah. I'm willing to accept it. Oh,
I will put that into the form of a motion.
I'll second
No.
it.
Thank you, Carl. The motion has been made and seconded. I believe we have to ask if there's any more nominations. We have to ask 3 times. There's 2, third time, any more nominations? If not, I would say the nominations are closed. Any more discussion? And if not, call for a vote.
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Now,
Ah, right. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it.
Now you don't have to take the minutes anymore.
right.
And we will certainly, help you out. I know you're coming in midstream and whatnot, but we will certainly,
it's like riding a bike, Robin.
we'll get through our budget season with help from Jenny and Pat.
No time's downhill.
Now.
It's a little rough, but
Loose gravel all over the place.
With that, Robin, I'll turn it over to you if you don't mind. We got a roll call. I think you got a copy of the agenda.
Yep. Okay.
the additions and deletions.
Right, so any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I'd like to add some executive session for personnel issue.
Mhm.
Yes, I was gonna say that as well. And we always leave some time in case, but other than that, I don't have anything specific.
And will that be just board or? will-
Yeah. Maybe personnel.
Patty, I know you have an issue, at least one issue to bring up.
I've got, under town clerk, I have some things.
Okay.
I have a big list, so if anybody wants to go before me, they can.
Big list.
I'm sorry.
So.
For published, right? Read out.
Oh, yeah, Rita.
Yeah. So Rita, do you have something to add to the agenda?
I actually got emailed Isaac today to just say I would be coming, because I didn't want to
Oh,
just drop it.
right.
It's a discussion about the monument.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
I try to keep it under 10 minutes and I'll be out of here whenever you're ready.
I got your email, Rita. That's,
Yeah.
I was gonna bring it up.
Didn't see that.
See you.
Yeah, Isaac and me, or I got it anyway.
And-
Isaac got it. and
I got a copy of it.
Okay, we all got it.
Maybe
Maybe he
send it to the
forwarded it,
whole
'cause
board. Oh, maybe he forwarded it.
okay, anyway.
Oh, that could be, I don't remember.
And Crystal, you're here for
I got it anyway.
Yes, Peter myself, unless
Okay.
Peter may have a.
No,
Yeah,
just
just like, yes.
So what I propose is to ask Rita to, I'm sorry, Juanita, your lister,
No.
not lister, auditor.
I'm here to listen to the credit card policy discussion.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll probably, sorry not to interrupt, but we might get your input on a couple of audit proposals as well while you're here.
Okay, so next thing on the agenda is approval of minutes of the October 9th regular meeting.
I can print those minutes if you all want to look at them.
I read Terry's notes.
Okay.
I'll move the acceptance of the minutes of the 9th.
I'll second. And even though I wasn't a board member, they seemed to me to be an accurate reflection of what I observed. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And minutes are approved as presented.
Thank you.
We'll wait on the board orders. We did the select board reorganization. I propose that we start with Rita, go to the library. Robert, do you have?
Just traffic safety,
Yeah.
that's all.
And so hearing no dissent, Rita? You have the floor.
Hi, thank you for giving me a minute, and I just want to say thank you all for serving on the board. I know that is a big responsibility, so I appreciate that, and jumping in at the last minute. The monument. I've been in Middletown for 38 years now, I think I've lived here, and I have always been told that the town owned a section of the green where the monument is, and somebody just said it to me again the other day. When Bob Rudimesso called me about, let me backtrack. I am on the board of deacons at the community church, and I'm also a trustee of the Congregational Corporation. And it's a very kind of convoluted, it was the merger of two churches way back when. So the Congregational Corporation owns the property and the church building. Middletown Springs Community Church takes care of the daily operations of the church, the services and all that kind of stuff. So they're two different, but if you're a member of the church, you can be a member of, it's kind of an us and we are them and them is us kind of thing. So that's how I got involved. Bob called me about doing the flagpole, and I thought we probably ought to make sure that that's actually church property before we say, go ahead and do the flagpole. So that got me into doing the search to make sure. So Patty helped me and we went through everything we can find, and there is nothing documented. What is documented, and David Wright, I called him to see what he knew about it, because nobody seems to know who's been taking care of the monument all these years. I guess it just hasn't needed anything. So if you'll bear with me, I'll read this. He copied this from somewhere, and I apologize, I never wrote down what he got this from. But it says, know all men by these present that we, Quincy A. Norton, E.P. Harrington, and R.F. Edmonds, Committee of the Congregational Church Society of Middletown Springs, Vermont, acting under the specific authority and direction of a resolution adopted by the members of said church society, at a special meeting duly and legally called and held on the 28th day, November 1903. In consideration of a soldier's monument to be given to the town of Middletown Springs by Captain Francis H. Hoadley of Wallingford. Said monument to cost no less than $2,000, and in compliance with the vote aforesaid, the committee of said church society hereby grants the town of Middletown Springs a permit to occupy a plot or parcel of land at or near the center of the plot known as the Village Park, we would call it the Green today, and belonging to said society, not exceeding 30 feet in diameter, and to be selected by the selectmen of the said town. It is provided, however, that this permit is given for the express purpose of erecting said monument on the plot as herein provided, and that the same shall be done within 1 year from the date hereof, and that this permit shall continue and be enforced so long as said town shall keep said monument and the plot herein conveyed in a suitable and proper condition. So that answered a lot of questions. Basically, the Congregational Corporation owns the property. The monument in that area is to be taken care of as part of the town. The town to take care of it. And I'm not here as one or the other. You know, I love this town. I've been here a long time. I think I've been the town health officer, the school nurse, so it means a lot to me. Why I'm here today is because they're going to be doing the flagpole soon. I think Justin Haynes is going to be doing the digging and putting in the new flagpole and removing the old one. And that's when it dawned on me, it goes on to say more about the, what they call it, the curb, the granite curb, the round.
Mhm.
And if you look at it, that is askew. I took pictures of it. I noticed the kids playing on it, and I'm just like waiting for somebody to get hurt. The ground, it was filled in originally with the curb around it. Now the ground has gone in. the curves. I have some pictures here that I was hoping would get onto my laptop, but they haven't gone over yet, but I don't know if you can just see it. You can see the ground is so what I was thinking was if we could maybe coordinate when they, put the flagpole in, maybe have the work done at the same time. I may be able to get a anonymous donation to do that. So I'm not at this point asking for money, just asking for opinions, and would you allow me to look into what would be needed? I think that ground would need to be raised and just the curb put back in so that there's no gaps. I just don't want anyone to get hurt. And I think it's disrespectful for, the reason of the monument to have it looking quite like that. And I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just saying, and when I talked to Bob Ridamessa, he's like, well, maybe we need to pour a footing, a whole cement footing under there. I don't know what's under there already. But I said, Bob, if this is the first time it's needed anything since 1903, I think we're good just to kind of push it back together.
For another 120 years.
Yeah. But funny, there is nothing documented about where the cannons. I have a picture of the original cannons. They were on wooden wheels. They rotted. Somewhere along the line, maybe you guys know, the cement structures came in. There's nothing about that written anywhere, and it's fine. I like it all being out there, but even that marker in the front was supposed to be up and in, and there was a big fight about that, so it was just dropped. It's so funny to read this. But anyway, I would just like opinions on that. Would you be willing to let me pursue that a little bit, get some information about that? Maybe somebody with more contract, I can get folks I know, or even Justin, I don't know if he'd be willing to do it, but to look at it, to see what's needed, and
Seemed like that would be a logical time to do it. I think that curbing is just in place gravity, right? There's no masonry, no.
I looked at it a few weeks ago,
really,
and gone around it to figure out what the circumference was. It was thinking how we could somehow put a tightener on there to stand them back up. If I remove the material on the back, I think I can pull it back up and fill in underneath them to take care of that.
that'd be great.
I saw it.
That
I
would
was
be
over there a
great.
couple weeks ago. So
Rita, I just would love to get a copy of
I have
that.
extra ones. He
Yeah.
gave maybe a whole bunch of copies.
Yeah, just because I think that would be
Pictures.
it's important to have that in the town office so that the town understands what their responsibility is.
So I don't remember where he got this from.
Well, you know what
Yeah, ask
I'm
him.
thinking is that what I remember
Francois.
is that the Congregational Church records that used to be in the town office, not this town office, but were given to the Historical Society.
So David didn't.
He didn't say that.
Yeah, he went through that, and I called Emmett today. Actually, I thought maybe he can give a little, but unfortunately, this kind of only came up when I thought, wait, the flagpole, let's do this. So I was kind of like, let me get here, but he didn't call back. But maybe
he's done the research on the cannons because he has told me what ship they came off from. And
Yeah,
what
he did all
war
that.
and all that he had done in the past when we
I think
did some
he
work
has-
on them and painted them, and
he put the plugs in.
plugs. He made the plugs in the end to get all the soda bottles and all the debris that was put in there
All
over the
in there.
years.
Did
And-
he do the cement structures?
No, they've been there as long as I can remember, but he did the research. Somehow he got some numbers off the cannons and was able to, I know he did that. He had told me that. So he has aware of that knowledge.
We should get a copy of that.
My recollection is that there, in one of the Historical Society's newsletters, that information was
Maybe this
was in one of those newsletters back when Emmett did it
When
and
he
did
did.
those things. So what is that? The late 90s, early 2000s, and the Historical Society has all their newsletters on their website.
Okay, maybe David just didn't think about that, but I'll look in there too, but it's just a point of interest. But yes, you can have copies of this.
I would like to have that, just to have it
You
in
can
some
find it.
file in the vault for the town.
Yeah, and he gave me a couple of copies of the cannons.
So
It'd be interesting.
it sounds like we're in agreement, so I'd like to put it into this form of a motion.
Well,
I don't think we need a motion. I think we can go ahead and look into whether it gets done this fall or in the spring. That'd be the question. Do you know a timeline for the flagpole?
I know he wants it before winter.
Okay.
You know, he's trying to get it.
Bob,
Yep, it's been ordered. I think he's gonna have to
Okay.
lay next to the church for a while. It's, you know, the Congregational Corporation offered to pay up to 2,000 to help with the cost of the flagpole. 'Cause
is
of
the
was raised.
flagpole here?
I don't think it's here
Oh, okay.
yet. I only talked to Bob last week and they were he had to make sure there was a place to put it. And then they're gonna take down the other one. Guess they're gonna cut it up. Anybody need firewood? So
The last time I think Dan was involved, but Richie changed the top of it last year where that had rotted off, went up with the ladder truck in
right,
the fire department and had taken the dome off and reconstructed the hook on it, the eyelet that had broke off. And then they put it back, the fire department put it back up. But basically there's two pins that holds that pole up. They just take the bottom pin over
drop it.
and let it lay over
Okay.
onto the ground and then take it down.
Yeah, Bob said it's just hooking, it's ripping the flag. It's very difficult to raise and lower, so that's why he's been wanting to get this done. But so do you want me to look into it further, or is that something, how do we proceed?
Let me,
What do you want?
I
me
guess
to
the
do?
timeline would be if they're going to be there doing the excavation, that may be the time to set them stones back up.
Yeah, that would seem
So do you want me to
logical.
call Justin, or do you,
I
You
can,
want-
I can,
you I don't care, I'll do whatever, just tell me what you want me to do.
okay. I'll touch base with them and get back to you then.
He knows nothing about this, so don't
Well.
enter into it like Rita said, you're gonna do this.
There's some other,
Won't make me very popular. I'm
there's some
sure.
other issues, but,
Well,
so we'll see. If Bob's ordered that, that would be the time to do it, so.
So I just want to make clear to the record that in this looking into it and planning, there's no authorization of town funds at this point. And,
just let me know what it would be, and I might be able to figure that
The
out.
polls is Bob's doing, and the Memorial Day Committee or whatever has done that fundraiser or whatever, and there shouldn't be any great expense, if any, to correct this, to push them up.
Yeah, if we need to have our
We have time equipment.
highway guys or the town equipment to help out or something, if we need a half a bucket load of sure bag or something, or.
Put it up to get the grass growing up here, reset that.
Great,
And I think we can just agree by consensus to help out and get that done if and when the new flagpole comes in, you know, try to do it at the same
if there's
time.
going to be a cost, like for the short pack or whatever, let me know, I can probably get that. Donated.
Yeah, we want
and
it.
my comment about not committing town money is for the minutes.
Right.
Right,
Just
right,
for people reading.
well, thank you very much. It's
Yeah.
fun to be here, so I appreciate it. I'll give you these.
Thank you, Rita.
Yeah.
And on your previous statement, are you looking for a job as health officer again?
Why are you looking for one?
There is an
That
opening.
went with the chairman job, and Herb was, so there is a vacancy.
It really wasn't a lot of work, but the best call
But
was
it-
the man who was constipated and wanted to know what he could do about it. That does not come under.
You
I
told
guess
me you
I
wouldn't
am a
tell
nurse,
anybody.
But what I said is, let me guess, you're taking iron. He goes, yeah, how'd you know? I'm like, yeah. I will think about that.
Okay, well, thank you.
Great, thank you, Rita.
Oh, just up until town meeting?
Well,
And then you could.
depends,
Yeah.
depends what the cycle is. It's a 5-year.
I
So mine, that's how I stayed health officer after I got off the board. It carried over.
It's in the town report what the term is.
What the term is. Okay.
Are you gonna give me copies or you're just gonna send them to me by email?
No, we give them to you right now.
Okay.
It'll keep you engaged.
Oh, trust me, I'm going through training right now, and how engaged I am, so.
Oh, dear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Crystal and Peter. Library update.
All things library, yeah.
Are you?
I think I said last time that they, folks brought the trailer. I think they're officially starting work. They haven't actually done anything yet, but I think their power was hooked up today. And temporary power was hooked up today. So they've got some lights in their trailer, I guess. So they will be looking to get started in the probably next week, I think. They're finalizing their schedule. They're not gonna give them, they're working on finalizing.
Well, John Crossman, the project superintendent, is gonna be on site tomorrow. And then I think that the plan is to have they want to bring personnel on the site on Monday.
Yeah, so they'll be getting started then. So couple of things that we need to talk about as far as getting that figured out. They got their temporary power connected, but the pole that the power comes from is on the other side of the Pleasant View Drive. Is that what that road's called? Pleasant View Lane, whatever. Anyway, that road, that is a town road. And GMP has plans to replace that pole, I guess, in this process at some point, but also the power that has to come back to the church has to be changed out, which means we need to dig across the road to put the power in. So that will need to happen at some point, and so I see that there's a form for that. So we should just fill out that form and let you all know, and then you sign off on it. Is that gonna happen?
I don't remember looking at that. So that's underground, obviously. She's talking about.
Is it underground now?
It is I assume
If you're
so. Is
digging
it
in
underground
there-
now?
Yeah.
It's underground.
It is,
but-
yeah, we do have somewhere we've got a form for that, but.
Yeah,
Working in the town right away.
But I assume the work in the
Yeah,
roadway
yeah,
marked.
no,
Yeah,
just
for there.
Working in the right away.
So we can do that form. They'll show you where it goes.
So,
Right behind the stone wall, who's getting that?
so hit the poles here. Yeah, it's back, like, no, I'm on the wrong, sorry. We're back here. So probably instead of going like this, we want to go like this because it's a fairly straight line. It's easier pulling, and it keeps the kinks and stuff out of it. I was there and met with John Crossman, the project superintendent, today, and then there were a bunch of CV people there. They would like to move the pole for the new pole further this way from the present pole. And
Further
also,
back, Peter?
Huh?
Further back or?
Toward the cemetery.
yeah, back to
Towards the
where
cemetery.
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
and also closer to the road than it is now, so that there's a power pole over in here, which is where the trailer is, and they got a temporary feed from that down to the trailer and then back into the church. So what they'd like to do is have a clear, be like this, but a kind of a clear shot from the new pole to the pole that's existing in the old parking lot. So they indicated that they could be on site probably within a week to start. They've got to set the pole and then make a whole bunch of transfers from the existing pole to the new pole. So if you've got the form, I guess.
Do you have paper copies of that form?
So they're looking for a approval to
Yeah.
get a new pole in the
Yeah,
town right away.
So we're gonna want to cross Pleasant View underground.
Mhm.
And then I don't know if the select board or somebody from the select board's gotta come down. I know where they'd like to put the pole.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, did they set a stake? Usually they'll set a stake for a proposed location.
No, they went over the parameters with me, so that's part of the reason I'm here tonight, to see if somebody needs to come and look.
Yeah, I think it should be pretty straightforward, and especially if we locate our, permit to work in the town right away,
Mhm.
I think it's probably fine. I know it's a short span from the 3-phase coming up Pleasant View Road, so they probably wanna make that a little further. Do you have any idea what is it 20 feet or something, or ballpark? Trying to,
Oh,
I think that,
15.
that existing pole is not too far behind the
15 to 20.
wall, right?
Yeah,
15 to
it's
20.
almost, it's the other end, I think
It's
it's
right
for the
at kinda
west,
the end of the
west street
pole.
end, is
Right.
where the pole is now. And the other pole is on the other, where the temporary to the building is on the other side of the road.
Right.
So they're probably trying to get it set out there closer here so they can see that pole without
Yeah.
doing a lot of trimming.
When I talked to them, that they wanted to move it almost to the edge of kind of the pavement, and I said, well, I know that isn't gonna happen.
Well, the road's narrow there
Yeah.
already.
And I said, that isn't gonna allow for any kind of plowing or error.
Right.
Is it a 3-rod right away?
That's, I believe, as far as I know, it's a standard 3-rod road.
I just have a question. This is the form. It presumes that the person doing the work is not also, like, it assumes someone else owns the property. The town already owns the property. This form seems to indicate that if you mess things up, you would have to pay because you're the property owner. You're already the property owner. The point is, do we need the form, or can you just make the
Well,
vote?
the pole's on the other side of the road you're talking. You're on the,
Yeah, but this is about the right of way across the road, like,
oh, yeah.
but it's already town.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, we're not gonna sue ourselves, I don't. believe.
Right, yeah. I mean, I'll fill it out for.
But we need it for our records. There are URD services scattered over town.
Yeah,
Somebody might see them, but we have no idea.
yeah, okay,
Somebody, dig into them somehow. and
Well said.
Right,
right, for folks who come in.
so it's mostly for record keeping, yes.
And this is the EV charger,
Do,
If we have to,
potentially,
huh?
potentially.
Yeah.
do, I guess my question is, do we want to run the power over the water line? Or can we come the other side of the well and then if this pole gets moved, can we come this side of the well and in?
Yeah,
So we're not
probably.
not going over the top of the water line with the possibilities of disturbing that. I would think if we're going in that storage room there, but the water system's moving, is that staying underneath the stairs?
The what?
The water system still under the stairs?
No, it's moved over to the utility room already,
Out back.
and it'll be moved around further in there. And the meter's gonna go against that wall.
What does CP mean on that?
Equipment control package.
So do you know what they need from us to move the pole? Is it a form, a written?
To move the
No.
pole, I think it's GMP, just that's their purview.
they-
They're moving the pole.
All they want is stake in the ground, is the word. So,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not a significant change, or,
Yeah.
if it was the other side of the road or something, it'd be.
so I don't know if somebody from the board can come and look at it. But they're ready to move within the week, and I think Naylor Green and the library also like to take advantage of that, because they usually don't move that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I'm happy
We
to
can look at it.
represent, go down, take a look at it and say,
What,
no.
do you know what time he's gonna be here tomorrow morning?
Who's he?
You said Crossman was coming?
Yeah, 7:30.
he's an early riser. Here, Terry, here's the form filled out and
Or maybe.
Mostly complete by-
Okay, thank you.
Right away.
We just want to do it tomorrow morning, whoever.
Yeah.
You know what time? you're gonna be
Yeah,
down around.
I gotta meet somebody around 8, and I'll probably be tied up for maybe 15 minutes, so like 8:15. You wanna do that?
Are you available at that time too?
And then I got, one other request is, we wanted, a couple of weeks ago, we wound up locating and digging up the septic tank to get it pumped. And one of the, we found a 1,000-gallon concrete tank, which was in really good shape. It's never overflowed, so the existing system there seems to be working despite all the church dinners that were held in the past. One of the things that we're gonna do, is we got, we had Doran septic to it. They've got a camera, and what we like to do is dig the tank up again, and they can run their camera up through the inlet, because we want to inspect the pipe and make sure it's usable and hasn't got any deterioration before we start doing things over the existing slab. Because if we got to cut up and replace stuff, we'd like to do it before that happens. So if I'm going to take a look tomorrow with the superintendent, because there may be an alternate place they could run the camera, but if not, could the town backhoe come down and just redig the hole?
Yeah, I don't
Sounds
see
good
why
to me.
not.
Yeah.
And that would be Monday, but do you want me to check with somebody or confirm that with somebody on the board if we need it, or do you want me to just talk with Chuck, or?
Yeah. If you decide tomorrow that you're gonna do it that way,
Yeah,
just you probably better physically talk to Chuck,
yeah,
track him down.
Yeah, let him know that you talked with us and got prior approval.
I'll tell him tomorrow.
I'm not sure we're gonna need it, but
Yeah.
just asking if
Yeah.
we need it, but
That's not down that far, is it?
it's down 3 feet.
Is it?
I think, oh, and then the other thing while you have the map out, is that there are 2 trees that we're gonna be taking out as part of the whole making room in front there. So again, town property, town trees, just letting you know that we're gonna take down.
There's a lot of them down that road.
They're cedar trees, cedar
I'm
trees.
taking those cedars down.
One is sort of on, like, the entrance to the church is sort of like right there. And then the one is closer to the stone wall. Not right next to, just like it was in my mental map. It's like, no, we're stone wall, but it's actually a little bit farther. But the people who do the digging, Fabian, I think is their name, they have a way to deal with trees. So while they're there, they're gonna deal with those.
Yeah.
So is there a form for trees? No.
Years ago, half of that tree broke off.
They don't look great. One looks a little better than the other, but the top half of the one that looks better is even still not looking great. So,
There's gonna be some pretty big chunks of cedar there, because they're like this.
yeah, one of
I
the
don't know if
trees
Everybody's interested in
is pretty big.
cedar,
Yeah.
probably not, but
I've got a dumping area over the bank there at the far end of Pleasantville, down toward the river if you need to get rid of it.
I think they'll just.
Or if they have a chipper.
Oh, they have a
Dump truck, yeah.
Just
Yeah,
on it.
they'll probably just cut the branches off and load them on a truck and get them out of there.
I think that was it.
Yeah.
Not their question. Yeah. Congratulations. Yep. Exciting. What's up?
The grant's still coming, as far as we know.
As far as I don't think you had any expenditures to get reimbursed lately. You sort of waiting. for this, but we've not heard there's any trouble on that, so.
So Monday's the first official shovelful?
I think so, yeah, I think so. We may try and do like a little, some kind of a photo walk, like we're beginning the project, but I don't know, we'll see how things play out. But yeah, that's, we begin. And again, I think their timeline is still 4 to 6 months,
And you guys
so that could change.
put together a flyer that you sent out by email. That is up on top of that, the
Right, so,
counter over there, if
Yeah.
anyone hasn't seen it.
yeah, so anybody who hasn't seen it, we had like a townwide mailing before, but that's expensive, we're trying to save money. So now it was digital, it's available at various places around town. It's just a, here's what's up, here's what's coming kind of a thing. Just again, a lot of the same information talking about what it's gonna include, the grants we've got so far. That sort of thing, kind of soft launching our campaign that will be coming to fundraise more money. We expect to hear about a couple more grant applications in the next couple weeks. Hopefully those will be successful. To kind of check off some of the boxes of things that are not yet covered officially with money we know about. Yeah, so that's where we're at, I think.
I will move that the town approve and authorize a right-of-way agreement along Pleasant View Road to install a new pole and replace the existing underground electric service with a straighter, more favorable alignment while digging under Pleasant View Road for the new library building or something to that effect.
I'll second that. Any further discussion?
Yes,
And the exact location of the pole to be
I
determined.
I do believe, if my recall this right, that we do require it in metal underneath the highway.
Yeah, I think we,
Yeah, I've heard that.
I think that's.
I think it
true.
was on Dayton Road that we got into that. That was put in,
Is that the town or is that a?
yeah,
State.
No, that was the town.
we try not to have buried power in the line, in the town.
Mhm.
But if it does happen, I think that was one of the requirements that got put in place. The section that's underneath the highway needs to be in a rigid pipe sleeve,
Conduit.
and then.
Yeah, so is it the whole 3 rod distance?
Yeah, that I don't know, but I would think if you put it in a conduit, you probably wanna put the whole thing in.
Well, the metal, I mean,
I don't know.
I would think the metal would be the 3 rods. And then you do conduit,
Yeah,
PVC conduit from there.
yeah.
So
We're
is
going to be able to look it up and find out exactly what we do require.
But it's so much more fun to
You're too
guess.
efficient, Patty.
I don't see it right offhand, but.
There's a pretty good table of contents.
Yeah, there's a section.
I don't know how that works.
I
But it's a little tough, you're catching us all on the fly here.
Well, yeah, I know, but I know that, it may not be in there, but if it's in there,
No, I suspect.
I think it is, because it was all about the burying telephone wires when they did all the fiber, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think I've heard it at other select board meetings too, where there was some underground electrical
Okay,
road crossing.
Amazing how that table of contents works.
Most folks just put them in and say nothing, and talk about it afterwards.
Robin, you
It's
just
90.
click the number and you go right to it.
Yeah.
I got it online.
All right, electrical lines are very
Show
big.
off.
Road as close to 90 degrees as possible. They will be sleeved in metal conduit to the two most outer limits of the right of way. The electrical lines will not be allowed to be buried running parallel in the road or parallel in the right of way. Conduit pipe must be at least 3 feet from the highway surface to the top of the conduit pipe. If an obstruction occurs to prevent proper depth, burial will not be allowed until an alternative method is approved by the select board. Direct burial warning tape will be used on all burials within Middletown Springs right of way.
There you go. Show
There you
that
go.
to the contractor that's doing the work.
Yeah, it's probably, that part of it probably isn't on the drawings. I think it just calls for Schedule A. So. Can
Send that to you.
yeah, send it to me, so.
Yeah.
I'll send it to the meeting tomorrow, so. You can.
So that's probably why
you can
it
send it
wasn't the
there.
most direct. way,
Yeah.
Because it was crossing
What's that?
Right.
What's
at 90 degrees.
It just says metal conduit. Oh, you're asking, oh, you know.
I think it's,
Like,
I'll have to look, it's either 3 or. And then there's gonna be. There's communication cable coming down too, so does that have to be rigid also?
That has to be metal as well.
Communication, that's on here.
Yeah,
Telephone and other related cables. Where these cables cross the roads, they will do so as close to 90 degrees as possible. They will be at a depth of no less than 3 feet and be sleeved in metal conduit for a minimum of Schedule 80 plastic conduit. Any of these cables buried running parallel with any town highway will be to the most outer edge of the town right of way and at a minimum depth of 3 feet and marked with direct burial warning tape. That includes, oh yeah, that includes conduit.
So, propose a friendly amendment to Terry's motion that, the, all work be done, to meet town bylaws. Meaning the metal conduit.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion now? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the motion is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will sign this document. You can make a copy. We'll probably keep the original.
Crystal?
Yes,
and
Oh, you need that?
Make a copy of it and we'll keep the original.
yes.
No, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
You want-
Any public comment? Town officer reports. Patty, do you want to start us off?
Couple of, well, maybe a month ago now, we went over the, keys and codes and the list of changes that need to happen.
You
I
guys
just-
want the original, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bringing that up again and
We need to sign.
would like, I mean, you don't have time to do this right this minute, but I would hope that within the next meeting or two, you were going home with some homework. Other people went home with some homework. To get keys back or to check with people, but we also have, so I don't know if you want me to just quickly review. We did get Herb's key back. Peter gave back, he had a master key and a main door key. So he gave back the main door key. And that is one of the, items for you guys to make the decision on, whether you want Peter to continue to have a master key. We have Chris Baird, who was our EMD a couple of years ago, who still has a key and a code that we believe. Carl was gonna check with Tracy Weatherhog to see if,
Her 1,500 number doesn't work. It's in the-
okay, so Carl did, so there's
so-
John Weatherhog had a key as a trustee of public monies. I believe from having conversations with him at one point or another that he couldn't find his key. So it's whether Carl was gonna check with Tracy to see if she knew where the key was. The auditors, Renita has a key as the chair of the auditors. But the other two auditors did not. Although Meredith does, because she has a key as being the assistant town clerk, which she is no longer. So that was another decision. Does Meredith send her key back because she's no longer the assistant town clerk and she gets in the building via Nita, right? Bill has a key for the front door, the main door. At that meeting, it was just prior to him retiring, he offered to be available in an emergency to do whatever at the building. That's a discussion that the board needs to have and decide if that's okay, but he still has his key. People who do not have keys, that should. Isaac has no key and a code. Chuck, as the road foreman, does not have a key or a code. The board assistant, whether he needs a key and a code. And the new select board member, whether they need a key and a code. Currently, we only have 2 main door keys to give out. So someone will need to go and make keys if we are giving out those few new keys without getting other keys back. It is, so currently, right now, I have a master key and Peter Stevenson has a master key. Previously, the board chair had a master key.
Did Peter turn his master
He
in?
turned in the main door key because he kept the master.
Okay.
And so that's up to you all if you want to continue with that. And it can get swapped out to the other key. But that's why we now have 2 main door keys, because there was one came in. I had one in my available keys and Peter brought me a second one.
I think unless I'm in,
The Herb brought in, but he had a master, so
Oh,
so I have,
Mhm.
for master keys, I have 2 available.
unless and until we get a facilities person in place, I think it's important that if Peter is still willing to help out, to keep him involved and let him have a key and a code, and so he can bail us out. He probably knows more about this building than
Yeah,
Right, I mean, and I'm not
Anybody else?
expecting you all to have this discussion right now, you can have this discussion later in your meeting, I'm bringing it up as something that, these are things that need to be decided and then communicated to me. I don't expect that I'm gonna be the holder of this very much longer. If the board has an assistant, it's not the town clerk's job to be in charge of who has keys and codes.
it's not your building.
The town clerk should have a master key because they may need to get in and whatever, shut a window that's left open.
and somebody else should have a master. too.
Correct. Right, I mean, and that's why the board chair also had a master key, because sometimes the board chair is gonna come in and let someone in to fix something for someone or whatever.
Yeah.
Clean the building, whatever, but that is. it's a loose end, right? And so you all, I can make another copy of this. I made a copy and gave one to everyone at the last time that I did this. I don't know that anyone still has theirs, but I'm happy to make a copy of this and so that you all have this to look at later, my hand scratching. And it costs, it costs money, so I wanted to do all of the changes at one time, and hopefully that's only gonna cost us $40 once. Instead of every time we make a little change, it costs $40.
Yeah, so I would, love to see Kate take on responsibility for just hurting these cats.
Yeah, so you can, yeah. Make some more keys if you need to, as well.
So do you want, should I make a copy of this that you all can,
Yes.
Yeah.
please.
okay,
Yeah, Kate can manage it for us. We'll make the decisions who gets what. but
Yeah.
If you don't mind. Thank you, Kate.
so, the other thing on my list, that was my second thing, so I'm gonna go back to my first thing. Today's Thursday, yes, yesterday. Well, I'll back up. A couple weeks ago, the town of Dorset sent out an email saying that they had shelving units available from their old building that was getting demolished. And did any clerks want any of the roller shelving? And so I put in yes, I want some, but the town of Manchester put there, yes, I want some in before I got to say, yes, I want some. And the town of Manchester took it all. And so then but the town of Dorset said, Middletown really wants one small unit. There's one small unit by itself and one big large unit like we have in there. And I said, I could use that one small unit and I'd be all set. I wouldn't need to buy another set. So the Manchester got their ball all rearranged and put together and they saved me that one unit. So Matt and I went to Manchester yesterday, picked up the unit, put it in the vault, moved all kinds of all those things around so that we could put it in, and it's here. So I just wanted to say thank you to the town of Dorset, the town of Manchester, because we now have shelving, and I have made a big mess in there, and I have a lot of work to do to make it back to usable. But so that was one good thing that happened lately. Other things on my list are, I wanted to talk about, so thinking about budgeting season, town meeting, all of that stuff. So town report layout, I think that Elizabeth put in a proposal, but I don't know if the board wants to put out a note for request for proposals for layout of the town report. Now's the time to do that if that's happening. Budgeting and dollar requests. That's also the time to put out a note that if people have specific budget requests for the next budget year, that they need to put that, they need to be thinking about that and getting it ready for all of you. Also, I have the budgeting spreadsheet that the select board has been using. As a select board member, I used to keep it as clerk. I don't know who's gonna inherit that, but if I want to know who wants to get that email to them so that they can be prepared for budgeting. Town meeting. So last year at the end of budgeting season, I heard from other clerks that we don't have to have town informational meeting the night before town meeting. We can have it anytime within 30 days before town meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I requested that we move it last year to at least a week before town meeting. And for logistical reasons, and also for communication reasons. So like if someone comes to town meeting and they hear an explanation of something that now they understand and they were gonna, if there's some issue, they're gonna go and vote on it the next morning, but they can't research it. They can't, or maybe they've already voted on it because lots and lots of people vote early. So I'm requesting that the select board early in the process, think about moving that meeting to at least sometime in the week before town meeting. I mean, logistically for me, that's better because what happens is the town clerk stays open basically till 5 o'clock to get everything ready for the next day to run the election. Right? And then has to be at the school at 6:30 to go to town meeting and may not get back. So I have to set this whole room up, get everything ready, go to the school to have town meeting, and come home at 11 o'clock at night, and I have to be back here at 6:30, 6:15 in the next morning to run the election. So you're backing up you're on a 16-hour day, you go into a 20-hour day, and then the next day you've got to button up the election.
So I believe it's the town election officer also has the authority to set the poll hours. Doesn't have to be 7 to 7. And that may be a larger discussion, but towns around us open at 8.
I know,
Nine,
Wells
open
is
at
10,
Yeah.
but I don't know why or how any of those things have been decided, and I don't know that you know more than me when you say I have the authority to set the time.
But I have no idea about why.
Or
we
what
do
the
it 7 to
process
7,
is.
Or what the process is, yeah. But just
So-
throwing that out there that in
Right,
addition to
but
scheduling the information.
But
meeting,
beyond that, after having a few discussions, people have said to me, well, yeah, once I go to town meeting, I can't call my neighbor who I talked about this thing and say, oh,
Right.
you already voted, but yeah, we didn't even know what we were voting on, and we didn't know what we were talking about because, so there's no room for people to do any due diligence or research really, if they have it.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
So I think that
Anytime.
for beyond my personal 40-hour, 40-hour,
Beyond your lobbying.
my personal health, beyond that, it is it's more, I think, once people got used to it, it's definitely more useful to have the informational meeting earlier so that they can go back and take that information and try to figure out what it all means.
Right.
Or ask a
Talk
question.
it through with other people.
Tim
Yeah.
now holds theirs on Saturday, the Saturday before.
Yeah, I mean, so that's just another, I think that it can be it's just more transparent, more community oriented, more participatory if you have time. Why, what to digest whatever it is that you get for information. So I would like the board to consider that.
Who sets that date?
The-
Is it that's
The board sets the date of the informational meeting.
I think that's a great idea, and if we could make a bullet point, whatever, and take it up maybe next meeting when we hopefully have a full board, but get everybody's input, but I think it's a great idea. And I think we've all helped out on the informational meeting and setting up first thing in the morning, and
And sometimes
it makes for a pretty short meeting.
I go over, get done here, and I gotta go over there with all the microphones, the things, the stuff,
Yeah, you
to
get to
set up
carry
the
a lot of
tech, and
stuff
I'm
back
not
and
even a
forth.
tech person, so last year we were in trouble because Max was sick and he couldn't help, so luckily Andrew was helpful and Matt, not because Matt knows technology, just because he knows how things work, he was able to get us so that we were functional. And so I think just not being under the gun like that, would be a lot easier for everyone involved. The next thing on my list is your upcoming meeting schedules for November and December. So Thanksgiving is always a Thursday, we all know that, but also this year Christmas is Thursday. So if you all are gonna change your meeting dates, stick with your Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Decide on a Christmas, I can put it on the town website so that it's already there when people start looking ahead. Right now, it says it's on those Thursdays, right? Because it's automated. So that's another reminder about, that.
You may wanna do that now or tonight.
Yeah, if it's easy, I
Is
mean,
there
if
any
everybody can make the decision.
The Thanksgiving one is consistent. We've always, I won't say always, but since I've been involved, we've done the Tuesday before, which would be the 25th. Tuesday, the 25th. And if we stick with that, gotta get instead of, yeah. So Tuesday, the 23rd of December would be the. You want to disagree by consensus, or do we need a motion for that?
Or do you want more board members?
No, I don't think anybody wants to be here on Thanksgiving.
As long
I'm
as it's
pretty-
warned appropriately, as isn't that.
And that's my point, is I can put it on the calendar now, it's plenty of time.
Yeah.
Anybody, I'll move that we take our November, our second meeting in November, instead of the fourth Thursday, we will do the fourth Tuesday, the 25th. And for December, similarly, instead of Christmas Day, which is the fourth Thursday, we'll do the fourth Tuesday, that's the 23rd. And have Patty put that, update our website.
Actually, so I would like to prove the Thanksgiving change, but wait till we have the full board for Christmas to get the, I won't be able to make that meeting.
No, you're out of town a lot of the month of December.
Yeah. But just make sure we have enough board members planning to be here on that day.
Well, I don't disagree, but I don't think anybody would want to be here on Christmas Day if they,
Right.
oh, I'd say you might be the previous week or
Might
something.
be that,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Or the
Gotcha,
week
For the week
after.
after, too.
gotcha,
Or the
gotcha,
week after.
gotcha,
Depends on
gotcha.
pay, all the.
Yeah, and typically, as you know, in December, we start having our budget meetings and or
Weekly meetings.
we meet an hour ahead of time or whatever. So, yeah, good idea. We'll just I'll amend that previous to just put in our December,
And if you
November.
just have a note that you're gonna decide on that in the next meeting, then I will have plenty of time to put it.
Christmas to be determined.
But if it gets forgotten, then it might get forgotten. I'm not here to remind you.
I'll second that.
That could be Kate's job.
Okay, so we have a motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is approved.
Okay, next on my list, I'm gonna skip down to select board webpage. So now that you have an assistant, I would like to be able to put the assistant's contact info on the board's webpage. So I would like, I mean, whether you're gonna leave it up to me where to put it, but if somebody or Kate and I can work on it, has some language they want to create surrounding why someone would reach out to Kate instead of one of you.
I would love to know that too.
Me too.
So that's something to
Yeah.
think about. It's not necessarily, I can just put it in there for now with basics, but I would like each board member to look at the select board page of the new website and think about it in that context. What message do you want to send? How do you want to speak about the board assistant position and why someone might contact Kate or whatever? I mean, maybe it will be self-explanatory, I don't know, but I don't write the pages, I just make sure that the information gets up there. So if you want to change something, that I would like you know, that there is gonna be a change. If you have anything else to change, then you can talk to me about it. That would be good if that sooner rather than later, right? Because people are already trying to find Kate and they can't find him. Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, at first glance, it seems to be logical to put a contact, position and contact on the select board page. But then we should have the verbiage on why all you instead of Harry.
right, and for what things, right? If you have if you want, you know, service request or you have or whatever, but if you're calling about, I don't know what. Right, if you are the,
Yeah, I think we have to be careful what we want private citizens calling Kate for, or it needs to be appropriate, because I don't think we want to burden you
Well,
with,
that's fine.
you know, how come my road wasn't plowed first? You know, how come it wasn't plowed at 6:30 this morning? They waited until 7:30.
but,
That's
right,
not
but
your-
where do I find this policy or where do I find that? That's the kind of thing that. I don't know. That's why I'm asking you all, because I don't know, so.
For those things, I could take, like, I could do it myself, but if there's something that needs the board, I can, you know, bring it up to them too.
Yeah, for board, yeah. Whatever.
Who knows?
Anyway, we'll, yeah. You tell me what you want, I'll put it up there. Winter maintenance. So I'm trying to avoid the same issue we had last year where it snowed 3 times before we got a person to shovel the walks. So this is your reminder that you need to be thinking about putting out something for, that piece of winter maintenance. I know that Jordan will always come and plow regardless of whether we have a new contract or a new agreement. But usually the board puts something out that asks for pricing for shoveling and plowing and all of that stuff. So that's that. My last item is also budget related. Since the board has hired Kate at a rate of pay of $20 an hour, I just would like to request that the board review all the other assistants and other town elected officials and figure out a pay scale that puts them in parity with what Kate is getting
For hourly.
for hourly rate. Now, so not me as a salary person, not Jenny as a salary person, although, you know, we're included in whatever cost of living, but I'm talking about bringing those hourly rate employees up to the pay scale that the new person is getting, at least. As in, listers don't get that much money per hour. The auditors don't get that much money per hour.
Nobody does, that's hourly.
Jenny's assistant, my assistant, so we all feel that I feel that those jobs need to be put in to context with
I agree.
with this pay rate.
So looking ahead as you budget for next year, figure that out, keep it in mind.
And also, and the budgets may not change, because many of those line items don't get used up for the amount of pay, right?
Right.
But the rates of pay need to become,
It's a sign of respect.
Patty, for the assistant town clerks or Elizabeth doing digitization records, upkeep, is that from a budget item, or is that in partly
so
record?
it
preservation?
is a number is budgeted. And then anything that goes over that number comes out of record preservation. So the hourly rate is what is,
Oh, 1575, sorry.
right now, 1575. For someone who's worked here for 4 years.
And I was gonna, at some point, like for our casual labor employees, they are, Vermont rate of
Minimum
pay
wage.
plus 50 cents minimum wage.
plus
At some
50
point,
cents.
I could see that surpassing what,
Right.
what our employees get.
Yeah, what the
So
others, what the other
Yeah.
folks get, and Jenny has you have the wage schedule,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
what people get.
But yeah, I think it's important.
It's only been cost of living since 4 years ago when, you know,
Right.
So, yeah, we've got people that are now making less than an assistant that have a lot more experience and dedication to the town. Not that you don't, you just haven't had a chance to. So, and it's not you personally, it's just in general. So, and I am actively going to start seeking out an active assistant. Kimberly is getting ready to move on and retire, and I need to train somebody to take over for me when I'm ready to retire. So that person, I would want a parity rate of pay that other assistants are getting in this town.
Do you have a spreadsheet of that, of hourly employees and their?
I think, Patty, you might
I
have-
do
I have
have in my, but it's
scratch stuff, yeah.
I don't have one here available. The one that I have is from last year's budgeting process, which doesn't include any of the cost of living that got put on
Yeah, which is 2.5%
in
for
June.
everybody.
in July.
This year they're saying it looks like 2.7. Did you see
I
that?
was afraid to look, so, yeah.
Even though we all know our costs are like 20%.
So, yeah, I mean, and
hoping to-
couple of years prior, we were doing 3% raises. Last year the board did less, so,
Yeah, and the board doesn't have to do the cost of living, we use that as a base.
one of the reasons why I will say, personally, when I was on the board, we started to do that was because a few years ago, before I was the town clerk, the listers came, they were making $12 or something an hour, and they all came and said, we need more money. And the lister chair got whatever, started, I think, at 18, and the other ones were at 17 or something like that, and wherever that is now, I'm not sure, and it was a big hit. So instead of staying in the basement, try to bring things up gradually so that when someone comes in and says, I need to make money just like anyone else needs to make,
Right.
we need parity here. It's not a huge hit. Well, even though we were doing cost of living, here we are again because of the way that the world is and the pandemic and
Yeah.
wages.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we know that with the highway.
And we were just basing the cost of living on top of the wages that people were just getting anyway.
Right.
Nothing was,
Yeah, we don't ever get a raise because they did a good job.
yeah, and nothing, we have this, you'll see, the compensation, recap from.
Yeah, there's the big
Yeah,
compensation report. is
You
in
can
your
look at
folder.
that and you can see what other towns are paying their assistants or anybody in town, so. But I think that it's important to be equitable with our employees that are really doing volunteer work because they're spending more time and effort than, like the auditors, for example, don't charge us for every hour they work. So. But it's, yeah, just like nobody's getting more than $20 an hour in this town,
Right.
Except highway.
except highway, yeah.
Yeah, Robert.
Yeah.
So something to think about as you create the budget.
Thank you for bringing this up. It's very, very important. Attaboy does not put bread and butter on the table.
I'm sorry, what was the last sentence you said?
Attaboy
Attaboy.
does not put bread and butter on the table.
Um,
Yeah.
But it's a balance because we have to be responsible to the taxpayers and keep the budget manageable. But I think if it's really looked at, there are ways that it can be accomplished to make things equitable.
Well spoken.
Yeah, thank you for
So,
bringing that up.
Thank
yeah,
you.
just. Yeah, I can't imagine that if people are paying attention that are getting paid less than that, once they find that out, it's not gonna be very, inspiring to work harder. And I know that a lot of these officials are not appointed or hired by the select board like our highway people are, but they are, town servants, as you know, as you are, and I think that
Thank you.
the select board probably,
Maybe let's say per hour.
yeah, they probably should look at bumping up their salary as well.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jen.
I think
So
that,
just
that's
skip
it.
ahead, yeah, put
I-
that when
Yeah,
put your budget hats on.
Okay, is that it?
I think that's it. Sorry.
Thank you. Jenny.
So I was wanting to talk about the credit card and the credit card policy. There was a meeting before you were appointed, Robin,
Mhm.
where the select board voted to allow usage of the credit card by the highway crew. And before that goes into effect or not, I'd like to have the opportunity to discuss what goes into using a credit card in this town. And also, even before a decision, knowing that information, looking at and creating a policy before we make a decision about who can use a credit card or not. I was going to do it tonight, but I would prefer to have the discussion in front of the full board. I know that Isaac was particularly interested in it. He could certainly read the minutes, but I don't think the minutes will necessarily be able to convey all the details.
Could I,
So-
could I add something in support of that? That, you know, as an auditor, auditors have been pushing the board for years to update the financial policies, and the board has been doing that. So little by little, you know, you guys have added one policy after another, which is great. But one of the last ones that we really do need to have before we get our external audit again is a credit card policy. And I know the board has been working on it off and on for years. So obviously we've managed without the policy or any changes. But I think it really would be wise to have the policy first before making any changes or getting a new credit card or giving anyone a credit card. So you're so close. Get that credit card policy done, and then you can use it to discuss should we get another credit card or not. Then you have something to lean on, and then that's one less thing that we are paying somebody externally to tell us to do. Because when we had the, what was it, 8 years ago, when we had the external audit, you know, they said they recommended this, and this. One of them was the credit card policy. So we don't need to pay them another hour at $200 an hour to write down, get a credit card policy down. Just, you know, sort of sensible stuff.
Yeah.
We
So-
got very close with that. It was
Yeah.
kind of our biggest
It's
stumbling
so
block
close.
was who's gonna manage it.
Right, but I
And
think now
and I
there's
think now
a
That's one
potential
of the things
solution,
we'll probably
right?
dump on Cade, so I think. we
Yeah,
can
so
probably-
yeah, you hit a roadblock,
We can
right?
probably
Yeah,
button
and
that
we're at a
up fairly
standstill.
quickly.
I was just gonna ask
Yeah,
that, I mean, that was the roadblock last time.
yeah, so I feel like I've come up with a solution, a proposal, and we can work through that, but I would like to have everybody understand what having a credit card means and what happens behind the scenes and what it can cost or not cost our town. You know, but again, you guys tell me, but I feel like I don't want to do this twice, this discussion, so I'd rather do it in front of the entire board.
that's appropriate.
Yeah, I think that'd be
And I'm
great.
sorry, Nita and Patty, that you,
This is for the Harbor Freight account? Or is there-
No, this is, well,
No.
in place of, Kate has also, I don't mean to jump ahead or whatever, but Kate has been working on setting up a Harbor Freight account, so we're not gonna use a credit card
So
for
that's-
that.
yeah.
And that's great, and I
Mhm,
appreciate your input, that was wonderful.
mhm.
But yeah, it's and I think our intent, the credit card is basically only for emergency
Mhm.
purposes, or that's.
That's what it's been, right?
That's
Or
what it's been.
if there's,
That's-
we can't purchase something any other way. So,
Right,
That's how it's been historically, so that's, and I'll discuss more details of that. Ultimately, the select board decides what has to happen with that. But I want to just make sure that everybody has the information they need to make an informed decision. And I don't think that that information was available at the meeting where credit card use for the highway was approved. So-
Can I just clarify, you're talking about like a credit card, like that, like credit card, not a card attached to your bank account, like a debit card.
No, that
Right.
I would never, ever,
Yeah.
ever
All right, I just want
agree
to
to
make sure.
that.
A credit card, sorry.
You know, we have
No,
hundreds of
agree.
thousands of dollars in our bank
Yeah,
account, so I'm.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, right.
our credit card is pretty limited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
So-
a very, it's a very low limit. When we were moving, we hit the limit,
Yeah, it was $2,000, I think, right?
you know, because people bought furniture and things that you couldn't buy any other way.
So Jenny, does your proposal include the safeguards and who has
It
access
does,
to
it
the
does,
border?
and it's from
That's-
my point of view and my experience
Mhm.
working with the town for 13 years, so.
Yep. Great.
And again,
That
so I would urge you all to,
is online.
I'm sorry,
Your proposal is online.
Right,
if-
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
seen it.
so,
Okay.
yeah, so read it and,
The board packet
Yeah.
up and on the website.
and make notes,
But I'm gonna put you, I'm gonna add you and you, because that's something that I forgot in terms of putting you, making sure you are getting those communications,
so.
because they get sent out from the website.
And I'm not the final decider of approving the policy, but, input is welcome. I'm open-minded to that, but I also want to say that anytime I write anything or provide anything to the select board or anybody for that matter, I put a lot of thought into it and there's reasons for everything that's there. So I would just say, be a little patient. Don't like cross it out and poo-poo it like, oh, we're not going to do that. Ask me why it's there if you need understanding. But I just feel like, as the treasurer of the town, I need to protect the town's financial interests. And I believe that this policy will do that. So
Right.
that's my,
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
so-
I would love to get a jump ahead on the having a good policy and not.
yeah, I think we're close.
Yeah.
But
In terms of the financial policies you wanna have for, especially getting grants and stuff. We're so close to having them all in place. It's really impressive. It's a lot of work over.
And
That's huge.
thank you for your 10 years of poking and prodding and urging.
Has it only been 10?
No, it's 12.
You should thank the library.
Seems
because they
like
got
that.
that
It
grant,
seems like
and that's why
20.
a lot of them have to come in.
Robin, you probably, if you knew that the credit card issue wasn't settled yet, you wouldn't have accepted the.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's
darn, I left that
Already
one there.
having buyer's remorse.
Yeah. No, but
That's the easy.
I told her that I would help out and provide something again to get this restarted,
Thank you.
so, yeah. Okay. So if you could put that on the agenda for the next meeting, and we'll hope that,
Right.
the entire select board can be there. And if not, I guess that will just forge ahead because, I don't know. see,
When is the next meeting?
13th?
Second week
Second
of,
Thursday.
second Thursday of
Second Thursday.
November.
I think it's the 13th, Nina.
I'll be here.
Okay.
Is that maybe if not to take time away from you, but if you're done, Jenny. is
Oh, I
that-
am done.
Is that maybe a time for Cade to update us on, just on where is with the Harbor Freight account.
Yeah, so some clarification on that, Jenny. There's a pre-existing card and it needs policies for it. I was thinking, I mean, I could knock that out pretty quick, policy for it. I just need to contact you and get some information on like the limit and the budget and all that stuff.
The credit
Oh,
card?
Yeah.
I don't think that you've had enough experience with what, you don't even know what goes into
Yeah.
using the credit card around here, so I would prefer that you listen to that first,
Sure.
maybe, but thank you for the offer.
Yeah, okay.
There is,
We
she
do-
has
It's a
created
draft.
a policy
Yeah,
already.
we do.
Yeah.
have a
It's
draft.
online.
It's a
Yeah,
draft,
it's
it's a
a-
It's a
proposal, yeah.
proposal. So there is one out there.
If I could get the source that professionally, I wrote bank policies,
Mhm.
my last job, so.
Yes, have a look at it.
That's good.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at this stuff.
Have a look at it and,
Yeah.
yeah, come prepared with your input.
Sure, definitely do that. The Harbor Freight account kind of ties into that. They have like an application process and wait for them to see what they say, but from the last meeting, we talked about opening a Harbor Freight account for the tools. So sent that into them and seeing what they're gonna say, but
They called
And,
today to confirm a couple things.
and do you know that any account or any company we do business with, the town does business with, cannot charge us tax. They have to be,
Hmm.
we have to be tax exempt, so you need to
yeah, it's a
fill out the
government, yeah.
tax exempt form.
You
Yeah.
get another program, once you have it, there's some other stuff that they have, like, there's even more reimbursements for. But I'm waiting to look into that once they review that process, but they have like a separate, like they have discounts and stuff for
Mhm.
government too, I think, so.
Oh, good.
Do we have a Vermont tax exempt number and a IRS tax exempt number
It's just one,
for the
it's,
state?
it's our, employer
Municipal.
identification number,
Yeah.
EIN, so that covers
Oh,
both.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just use that one
Okay.
number.
Called an S3, you just put
The
in
form
that
is an
number.
S3,
Yeah.
yeah.
And Kate came in on Monday and I gave him a copy of that.
Hmm.
So we had
Yeah,
the
just,
info.
just Google the IRS.
Cause on our, fuel bills, we're getting that 0.2424 federal tax added to it. And I didn't know why we were paying the
They
federal.
said we couldn't take that off, I remember
Yeah, I think
that.
you talked about that years ago,
Yeah.
actually, yeah,
Oh.
so.
That's
Cause I see
mandatory.
it's added to the price as a separate line item on the slip, so I didn't know if we were exempt from that too or not.
I think that they said, I think I'm remembering when we got. Well, maybe that's, I don't know, there's something in my mind is saying, we asked about that and
I
they
feel
said
that
it's
too,
not,
yeah.
that they have to charge that to everyone.
Cause I think, yeah, like I said, you brought it up a couple of years ago, so I think that was probably.
Yeah, I was gonna
Mhm.
check around for fuel prices before winter and see what the difference is out there now.
That it could be better than Marcel, maybe, yeah.
Anything else for treasurer's report?
No, not right now, thanks.
I'm gonna head out, but there was a comment about the audit proposals. Are you
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah, I was gonna say,
discuss them at the next meeting, or how quickly do you have to get back to this?
I don't remember what the date was. I don't know. I didn't print, or I didn't look at the RFP specifically, but
That's also online.
yeah, no,
No, I mean, neither, if you wanna just look at the town website, the RFP.
Well, what our RFP is.
I think we could probably do it next month.
public
but-
is what the deadline is.
Proposal will be reviewed at the regular select board meeting Thursday, October 23rd.
Ah,
Thank you.
Oh, what day is today?
That's today.
Coincidentally.
Review.
So
Yeah,
I've,
it's 20.
I've seen two. Do you have more? Have you gotten other ones?
I don't believe so. We've had a couple that declined or whatever. The two that you forwarded to me are the only ones I've seen. I don't know if anybody else has seen any.
I put in the folder what I saw.
That's the batch elder one.
Batchelder.
In that envelope, Terry.
Envelope.
but it might, I think it's one
And
of
I
our
think,
ads.
isn't
on the
Sullivan
agenda.
Powers and Company, aren't they the ones that did it last time?
Probably, is this in the agenda? Or
It could be
We're
under audit.
town auditor reports.
Yeah.
it's not,
It's,
I mean, I'm not in charge of the, the audit, but my name was I was the point person there.
so there is auditors are on the agenda.
Okay, so it's okay to talk, can I?
Absolutely.
Auditors
So
are
I
on the
haven't gone
agenda.
through it either. I'm not the person in charge, although, you know, that's something to discuss about who will be the point person since Herb isn't with us. Maybe Herb would like to volunteer. So we have a proposal from Sullivan Towers and we have who did it last time, and we have a proposal from Batchelder. And they're pretty close.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Both get 32,000 and 30,000 more, you know, plus or minus. So I just glanced quickly at it, you know, it's the format. I will say that the Sullivan Powers guys reached out to me to get extra information before they made their proposal. So they did ask a bunch of questions and they asked for Jenny to print something out. And so they called me and they did some good research. I don't know if what Batchelder's experience is or how she comes up with it. So that's something to look at. That's all the insight I can give at this point.
Batchelder had some, you know, good references. They had done the town of Pulteney,
That's all that.
village of Pulteney. I think it was Pittsfield, maybe, I don't know, in Brattleboro, they've done several towns.
Well, that seems like
I don't know what
two
the
solid
date was
proposals.
yet, but yeah, they're both solid proposals. And I think the towers folks, they did it last time, and I think they were good to work with. I think we're
How
pretty
often is an
pleased with them.
outside audit required?
It's not required.
It's not required.
It's good practice, but I think this year it is required because if we've spent over $1 million in grants in 1 year, it's required.
Will be required,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's perfect timing for us because it's time to do it anyhow. The board and the auditors have all said we need to do it now. We've been putting some money away for it. And now that we're required to do it, my hope is, and the auditors in general, our goal has been to help, and Jenny's, to help clean things up in such a way to make the audit easier so that it's less. And, you know, over time, we have worked, all of us, on a lot of the suggestions, and I think we're in a lot better shape than we were 8 years ago. Yeah, you know, that's some positive. I guess my
Research.
gut feeling would, if they were equal, these guys, would be that Sullivan Powers have worked with us before and they know some of our quirks and are nice guys to work with. You know, the one that called and the other one emailed were the ones we worked with, so it's the same guys. But I'm sure the other person is just fine too.
Mhm.
So that's neither here nor there.
So I think we just want to acknowledge that we received the two proposals into the minutes, and then we can make a decision in the future. The audit is to start next August, I do believe.
No, I think we pushed it out to September or October because
There
the
was
town
some,
treasurer who's gonna have to provide
there
information
was
is gonna be
some
way busy with other
time
stuff.
restraint, so this
Yeah, I think they've changed it, yeah.
this is
Summer.
something that's going on the end of next summer to start, so.
So if the chairman of the board writes to and thanks them and says that we're studying the proposals, they'll probably would give us time to look at it at the next meeting.
Yeah, I think we could, yeah, make a decision at our next meeting when we theoretically have a full board.
So
I worried that we weren't gonna get any services this year. Get two, but it sounds pretty good.
Okay, they're online, Robin, and here's a printed copy from Batchelder. And I just printed just the 2-page cost proposal of how and whatever, but if you would like those, you're welcome to it.
And I'll have to learn where to find these things online.
Well, the audit proposals are not online.
I copied you on I sent them to you.
Well, it's from, I've been looking through emails from Patty. Okay.
The audit proposals, they weren't part of the board packet, I never saw any of that. So,
But the RFP.
but
is-
the RFP is online.
Yeah,
And
that's, yeah.
the credit card policy is part of the board packet and unapproved minutes is generally, whatever things are on the agenda that I get sent will go in the board packet. So like the chair would send me the information they would like me to put in the board packet. Usually I put the unapproved minutes. And like today, the credit card policy. And then it gets, there's a button that I push and it emails out to everybody who's interested in getting the information that the select board is gonna be discussing. So whatever I'm putting in a board packet goes online. Anything you all need to share with amongst yourself that is not public information, you still have to share via your email chain.
Okay, yes, I have
So
both
you-
of them, now.
see,
Thank you.
okay. I wasn't sure who to, and I didn't know who to send it to, so I didn't send it to you, Carl, or I didn't have everyone's emails at hand, I just went to Terry and Isaac and Ron.
Yeah, no, that's,
Not meaning
Sure.
to single anyone out. Oh, and I guess I missed Sean, right, so I didn't get any of you guys. Now, Robin, you can pass them on to people.
Okay,
And I will come to the next meeting too,
no, thank you.
sure.
So, just, yeah. When we send things to the select board, Kate, do we want to be CC'd or shall we CC Kate on it as well?
I would think
Just probably the more information, whether you know what it really is for sure or not, but just,
Yeah.
is that okay?
Yeah, it's. Hello.
It'll be on the website after tomorrow.
Excellent, excellent.
Okay, is that it for auditors?
Yes, and
Okay.
I'm going to slip away.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank
Nice to
you.
see you all, nice to meet you, sort of, I'm Anita, Anita for short.
We did library. Anything on emergency management?
That falls with your job for right now. You know about the future.
Yeah.
As you, Robin, you're the.
One of the things, and I forgot to say that before, that currently,
Good night, Crystal.
Hi.
Night,
night.
thank you.
the
Yeah,
there's
you,
a tree warden, which
you
means
inherit.
that falls to the select board chair. There is no health officer,
Yeah.
means that falls to the
Yeah.
select board chair.
Rita.
There is no management director. I don't know that falls, I think that falls to the full select board, so when things come to me, I send them out to all of you. Emergency management, so.
Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah, thank you guys for
Good
night.
your work.
Good
Take care.
Good night.
Next time.
Good night. Thanks, Jen.
So,
I think
yeah, there's a lot of that stuff.
The full board we act as fence viewers if and when we need to.
And maybe the full board is a tree warden, I don't
A
know.
couple of years ago, yeah, I
It
suspect,
can't be the health officer.
we would act as tree warden if push comes to shove or whatever. I think we do have a animal control officer, right? I think James accepted.
James,
And- and
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that-
I-
What I'm gonna say is that I believe the health department has no idea that we changed fares,
Mhm.
because they usually are immediately calling me up and asking me for that person's phone number and all their information. So I don't know, they're almost,
Good cookies, Robin.
well, I shouldn't say, oh, I don't know, they're very persistent and very, won't take no for an answer, and they do what, the way they do it. So when Herb was the chair of the board, Herb got all the information they got all the information, they talked to her, everything was great. But because he wasn't the certified designated, because he was the acting, because he's doing the capacity as the chair of the board.
Yeah.
They will not put his email on their email list, so the emails all go to me.
Hmm.
And then all the trainings I have to forward on to the person who's the chair. Because, and I, numerous times, I'm like, can you just send them to the right person? And
Can you take care of this mosquito problem in Madison County?
the answer was no, because chairs are not the real health officer, and if it changes, then we won't know. And therefore,
it's you.
and therefore, we send those things to the clerk.
Okay, so, well, we can move right along in that the health officer, the emergency management officer, and the tree warden have no reports.
Traffic.
Right. And that brings us to the traffic safety task force.
Yes, I was away last week. There was an officer, the new officer that we have in town from the sheriff's department. And he parked in my yard, I think, a couple of days. And he wrote out a few tickets, some good healthy ones.
Oh, good.
He did not discuss speed, but he said it was quite severe. So, another thing that I'm seeing more and more portables and solar speed signs. I think the town, most municipalities are getting away from the stationary ones. I'm going to go to the town clerk and in Wallingford and see where they purchased theirs. And get a price.
And as I recall, at the last meeting, you mentioned talking to Sheriff Fox and
Yeah,
seeing the availability.
Yeah,
of
there
that
again, I was away last week
Mhm.
and I had to come back today to help Chuck and Philip. So I will, I'll take corrective action and call David tomorrow and see if we can get his speed unit, especially before it snows. We don't want that being a hindrance, I think if we hit it, we're responsible.
Right.
Our insurance. But hopefully we can get it before the first snow. And what I'd like to do is put it in different areas. Not just one area. One area that's very, very disturbing is by the farm. Number one, we can't afford to lose another farmer in town. And he's got little boys taking cows across the street, and we really have to slow people down by that farm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well, and I'm in front of your house, it could go both ways,
Yeah.
entering town and
Yeah.
leaving people
and
going too fast.
up over the hill. And sometime I have coffee with Carl in the morning, and we'll both look at each other and say, "Ooh, hope they make it." So. But I will tomorrow. I plan on going to Wallingford and see where they purchased theirs and come forward with it.
On the discussion last meeting, I did contact Brian Sanderson at the highway department and asked him about our abilities to place signs, permanent signs on the state highway. There is a permitting process to do it, but it is allowed. So we just have to go through the permitting process if we want to put the stationary speed signs up. And I had already talked to Brian in the past.
Is he in District Garage?
And he's willing, to have us put one coming into town before his house on West Street, Brian Tarbo. So, last week, Amazon had some down to $659 for solar speed signs.
What kind of warranty?
I didn't research, but for some reason right now, there's a mess of them, less than $1,000. I don't know the quality or any of
The
that.
ones that just flash your,
The speed.
Yep.
They
look like a regular speed sign, but they flash.
and there's a wide variety of them out there now. We may want to go to a higher quality, maybe, I don't know. But I'm not opposed to putting one on South Street, one up by Roberts and one down by Tarbell's. If we're spending $1,000-$1,200 to get one of these in 3 each in this town, because what he had researched it before, and I think it was around $5,600 to $5,700
A lot of money.
for a mobile one.
Yeah.
And at that time, we decided that wasn't an option to spend that, but when I started looking at Amazon and that, the options are a lot more financially feasible than I thought they were.
Yeah.
I found some there, it was $1,200, which I thought was cheap, and then when I was on there last week again looking, but I don't know how good them.
The town has an Amazon account with already a tax exempt number. Just so you know.
If they're that inexpensive, we ought to just get 2 or 3 of them.
Because
You're gonna be closing in
Not
on your credit card limit.
Not that much,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Amazon does have like a really wide return policy as well. So I mean, you can just test it on Amazon. If it doesn't work out, you can return it like a month or 2 later. So
Another thing I highly recommend at this time, the solar powered ones, because if we go the other route, we have to hire an electrician. The only responsibility that we have
You
with,
need power that you're gonna meter it.
yeah, you have to meter it.
yeah, and then the town has that expense. I like the solar power ones. The only thing that we have to do is put up a delineary post. And the delineary post is one that breaks away.
And we have, when Chuck and I were wandering around this week up back there, we have the base and we have signpost, laying up there in the weeds, new ones to install, so. And on that note, next week, there's a auction in East Montpelier that has a whole rack of municipal signposts and base and road signs all on an online auction next week, but.
Another thing that we spoke of, that he had a complaint was the person can't see the sign. And that's by my house. Apparently the tree is overhanging and, I don't think that's, a responsibility. I think that's the speeder's responsibility.
In discussion with Chuck today, he wonders, because the dropping to 35 speed limit is down here, I do believe by Nan's. And it covers this area through the village and out East Street till it raises again. That maybe it would be in our best interest to put another 35 sign up after you turn the corner here. So people know
Yeah, we
that
talked
this
about
is still
that.
35,
We did talk about that.
out through here.
Yeah, because you can beat that in court, because you're coming off one road, coming onto another. And it has to be posted, otherwise that person can do 50 miles an hour.
And because when the state took 133 over, not everybody knows that 133 and 133 and 140 are the same road there,
Right.
but a different road that, and it's also the same road 140 going that way. So Chuck had mentioned that today, that maybe part of would be education for this signpost, putting one over here somewhere by the bridge, or
Yeah, that's what they.
There
told
was
us. At the end-
signs-
At the end of Burdock, there's already a state sign
Oh,
post there. The Adams 35-mile-an-hour sign there.
I don't know, seemed like there was one there at one time, but there
Another
was some
thing-
posts that got knocked
probably
over.
hanging on somebody's wall, maybe.
Another thing, excuse me for rudely interrupting, Carl, but we have to understand that we need signs that there is a bus stop. That's a law. There's no bus stop signs. Someone's going to get clobbered by Mary's. And I think that's AOT will do that. They have sign packages, and the new sign is like a fluorescent green. And would you take care of that, Pearl?
I'm calling him
No.
Maybe,
and see how he
because you
can,
might want one over here too.
how.
Somewhere, I don't know where it's gonna go, but there's a bus stop here too.
Yeah.
And there, people. I don't know whether they didn't take driver's ed, I don't know whether they just forgot, but. Drivers have no regard for school buses.
Mm.
Zero.
Yeah.
And that's been for 15 years. I mean, I had that problem when my daughter was getting on the bus over there.
What about the cattle crossing? Is there a cattle sign there too? Like this is cattle crossing? Is there?
I don't believe so.
I think there's a triangular one with a silhouette of a cow.
Okay.
Could be.
When we had a grant to do the sign package from here to Polteny, I tried to get them to allow us to put a caution light in coming this way into that corner for the cattle crossing that he could turn on when he was moving cattle across the road, and the state wouldn't allow it.
Really?
But I tried back then.
Even though it's a town road.
Well, it was the state grant that was upgrading the signs and that we applied for, and Pulteney and us applied for a 140 upgrade. And we're supposed to be maintaining the signs, and one of the signs that disappeared is the one down past Norton's farm on that corner that got mowed over. That had the sign up there on that corner. I know that one's got.
Does he have issues with crossing the cattle? Like the drivers at all? Or?
No, I don't think he's had any problems with that.
When we sent out the pamphlet, probably, whatever they're called. And
Survey.
Sir, thank you. And we got it back. I can recall two of them saying that within the village, and I called one individual, and they said from streetlight to streetlight. And so it would be where Bobby, up above where Bobby Parker lived. And the other one is down almost to the road that goes down to the corn piece. Yeah. In the other one, southbound, I believe is past McCoy, is it?
Is it Buxton Ave or is it,
Yeah.
Nan's? I don't remember.
I think there's no one down my name.
Isn't there one by Nan's? I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. East side of the road.
I think so.
Yeah, so.
You know, personally, I feel that the sign will, the signs will be a good deterrence. And, you know, we can't depend on the sheriff's department. You know, we just don't have that kind of money, you know, to have them here 24/7. And it's the same people over and over, you know, and there's time frames. They're going to work or they're coming home. Um, But hopefully we can do something before someone seriously gets hurt, you know. Especially you know, the little farmers' boys and
Yeah.
in the school bus, you know. So hopefully we can take corrective action, not spend a lot of money, but see what we can do.
It, you know, just shows your thing. When you go through a town that has those flashing signs, it just makes you think.
Mm-hmm.
And it also is like a sign, oh, these people care if I go fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
These people care. Or, you know, it's like, someone's gonna be watching me. It gives you that feeling that someone's watching me.
Yeah. I saw a sign a number of years ago, drive like your children live here or something like that.
Yeah.
Wells has a good one, right in Middletown.
Mhm.
They have one of those like ones that has like the variable speed on it.
Mhm.
Makes it valid, you're 140.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wanna see a working
The ones that
individual
flash, slow down, slow
get
down.
a,
slow
you know,
down.
get a real hefty fine, so, you know, it's like, you know, I like to work with these people and kind of slow them down. a
Because
little
there's
bit.
such, you know, and what I've looked at online, there's such a variety of what it can do, and you can actually get a recording of their license plates, you know, and you can get them so you can find them, you know.
Like a game camera. It
Yeah.
takes-
You go knock on the door. Hey.
Well, all you have to do is put a sign up there that's speeds enforced by the radar on them, and you can ticket them, you
Being
know.
enforced by Carl.
Another
I'd be
thing,
getting the ticket.
when we go into budget preparations next year too, we can budget some money to buy an old Crown Vic cruiser and roll it around town, and we wouldn't have to get one that's right up to snuff, wouldn't have to be roadworthy and all that. We could tow it from location to location if we had to.
As long as it's got that big searchlight.
Got that big searchlight,
Yeah.
and we could even get an inflatable dummy or something to sit behind the wheel.
Yeah, let me work on that, and I'll get a picture of Nelson Tiff.
Put in. Okay, thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Are you finished? Or-
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think we have anything else in town officers.
I just wanna, I have one more thing. Sorry, I'm sorry. So as we go forward with your board assistant, I just want to be kept in the loop of what Kate's gonna do, what the expectations are, who's gonna communicate those things to Kate, what, you know, like, so some of the stuff I've done, some of the stuff other people have been doing. So it's just like, how are we going to get Cade the information he needs, and how are we going to know we're supposed to give it to Cade? All of those pieces of the puzzle, that closing the loop, so to speak. Because, you know, there will be things that come up. And if my suggestion is for the board to just, I don't know if you have those descriptions, you have to probably have the job description, but whether or not you have the pieces, the information that I gave to Herb about the stuff that I did. I know Jenny had information that she gave to Herb about the things that she did that were not considered treasurer jobs. I had things that were not in the scope of town clerk work. And then there were things that Herb had on his list that he wanted Kate to be taken care of. And there are other things now that have come up in regard to things that the road foreman did and the road commissioner did. And So I think it's important for you all to be thinking as we begin this process, what parts and pieces and how Kate's gonna get that information and be able to then act on it and do the jobs that you're expecting him to do. I mean, he can't make it up. He has to understand what they are and where things are located, so he can go back and look at history and get that information. So that's just something that the board needs to be thinking about, continue to think about. I think you'll be disappointed in what Kate can do for you if you are not giving him some of that background so that he can be proactive.
You said that perfectly.
Yeah, I think,
So,
Thank you, Patty.
I will, talk with Herb, get your lists and the information he has regarding his perspective on your duties. I think the information flow is a great question. I mean, you are kind of the vector for information coming in just by virtue of being clerk, and so how.
Right, and how do we avoid me becoming Kate's secretary?
Exactly, yeah.
And part of that is that language on the website, right? Part of that is training people who are going to come in with inquiries or want, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
where this stuff gets addressed, how this stuff gets addressed, and the proactiveness of Kate is to go out and introduce himself and get, or with the board's help or whatever, get some of those connections to whether it's the Regional Planning Commission or the Chamber of Economic Development, or all of those places that normally come to me and then I pass on to the board. That's not, we're just spreading the work out at that point, right? It's not empowering Kate to do the actual job if things continue to flow through me.
Right.
and there is some form of skepticism if I were to act on things, because board is appointed, but it's elected, it's not like a given job. So if I were to act on you guys, it has to be kind of through you guys telling me to go ahead and help you with these things. That's one thing that I noticed, like with the Harbor Freight thing. It's like I could set up for myself as like the AP contact for the bills, but it's like, do I have the authority to do that? I need that information first. It's right. There's some skepticism with those things for sure.
Right, and how does that work, right? I don't know, right? I don't even know, like, who should be the person that
Right.
is the point person, right? Should it be the chair of the board and then the chair of the board passes it on? So there's a bunch of work that needs to be done in order to take advantage of what Kate can do or a person like Kate and an assistant can do for the select.
I think there'll be a lot of trial and error and figuring out how it works.
Right, and the internal of, does Kate have a spot in the office with, a phone number or a phone access to whatever when, so that for filing things or making sure where are things supposed to be. Once I've done this Harbor Freight credit application, the piece of paper that I get that says I have this credit limit, where does it go?
Give it to you as well. Yeah.
Right, and so those kinds of things, right, and it's gonna be trial and error, and I'm happy to help, but I don't want to end up being Kate's secretary. I mean, that's the easiest way to kind of put it, is like, because things do come through me. So
We'll try to avoid that.
yeah, I mean,
We'll work
it's
through
gonna
it.
happen for a while, but I'm just saying that that's what the board needs to maybe put together some bullet points of what the things that so that I'm clear,
Yeah.
he's clear. So if something comes, it doesn't get, it doesn't land in the nobody's job, right? I think Kate did it, or should do it, and the board didn't think about it, so Kate can't do it because he doesn't have authority to do it. Kind of thing.
Okay.
That was my last point, as I was sitting here thinking, so I'm gonna go,
Okay.
you all, when you're
We
done,
can end it, I think.
you end, when you go into executive session or whatever you're gonna be, but
Oh,
you're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
pull that with your mouse, pull the internet
I can do it.
box down into there. Or the next time, what happens is, if someone comes in to do a search and they go to print something, it opens up in Google. And it's on a blank, it's way up here and it's on a blank screen and they can't find it. And so then I have to come over and help them and turn on the TV if I don't know. It doesn't automatically shift down. That's hard because our stuff is old. So if you don't pull the internet box down,
What?
the next time it opens, it's trying to open up there and you don't see it.
You have to drag it down.
Yeah, just drag it down into the,
Oh, I get what you're saying now.
so like somebody's trying,
I can fix that like
Oh,
really
okay.
fast.
well, that's, hey,
Yeah.
I can't.
I know what you mean now. Okay.
The problem is that, here's another thing you might be able to fix, Kate. We used to have no trouble with Zoom because we had the Zoom app.
Mhm.
But at one point in time, something happened, whether it was an update or whatever, the Zoom app stopped working on the computer. So now we have to open Zoom via the internet in order to make it work.
Okay.
And if we could I was told by someone who's a computer person that there's gotta be a corrupted file in your little computer, and therefore it won't, even if you uninstall it and install it and all those things, that file is not leaving, and therefore it never works, and it's never going to work until you get a new computer or you get somebody to go through all your files and you
We'll
get.
see you.
Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So now we're on the internet
Yeah.
instead of with the app, which is a lot easier to use
Okay.
than the internet interface. Anyway,
Okay,
sorry,
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
nothing's easy. Comes under the heading, nothing's easy.
Road commissioners.
Take some cookies for your husband.
Yes,
Maybe I will.
Robert,
Nothing they
help.
can do.
Philip drive today and yesterday, Chuck, and one truck from Casella's and one truck from DJ's did the majority of the work up on Coy Hill on that project. The end of Thursday and Friday, the DJ trucking did the winter sand. He thinks it's around, he just gave me the slips tonight. But from what I could tell from what's in the folder here, it's a little over 1,300 tons that we have on site of the 1,500 that we ordered.
And is the rest stockpiled at Casella's? or-
Yeah. So we can get it whenever. Chuck feels it's in our best interest to cover the pile to keep the water out and not liquidate the salt out of it. So the pile's covered for the majority. Monday morning, another load arrived because DJ's trucker didn't know that they weren't finished hauling today. He tried to get it all done because he said if it's raining, he doesn't want it trucked because it just adds to the tonnage. So it's there. He's talked to Kelly and there's no problem with it. Whatever's left there, staying there till we want to truck it or we need it.
And is that mixed?
Yes. So we had, it's on the orders tonight, I think around 65 ton of salt delivered there to be mixed with the stuff that was trucked here.
Mhm.
So, and that already has salt in it. Roughly on the 1,500 ton minus the 65 ton of salt that we add to it, I think it comes out to around, thank you, Patty, comes out to around 4.5% salt in our sand pile. I think it's calculated that. So, over the years, the amount of salt in the sand has been reduced. So it's a start.
Yeah, so I have no idea what a standard amount of salt
Well,
in the sand is.
Timoth put no salt in their sand. Clarendon put no salt in their sand. Chuck says Pittsfield puts no salt in their sand. When I showed him the bill for around $6,500 for that salt that got put in it, Chuck says, how many years would it take to pay for a sand shed so we didn't have to put salt in it? And point taken. You know, if we can save $5,000 to $8,000 a year on salt use, it would help what the state's trying to accomplish, and it would help pay for a facility to put a cover over. So it's something to think about. There is drawbacks. I don't know what Poltley's situation is over there. I haven't talked to Ferguson. I pulled in and looked at their building the other day. It's full already. I don't know where they got their material and if they mix salt with it in the building. I know the first year, their new building, when they put it up, they had a lot of problem with it being closed up and not having any light in there. And it was freezing hard in the building because it kept cold in there. So that would be one thing that if we put up a facility, we would want to try to get light into it to help warm the building instead of closing it up dark to keep it cool. So, but, the, other than that, the culvert on the top of the hill on Orchard Road, Chuck has talked to Green Mountain Power. That culvert he feels is plugged up there, just past Westcott's Road on the top there, where all the guy wires come down off the pole that go to the solar park. And if DigSafe didn't mark it adequate enough for him, he's got the guy's phone number in Poltley that says they will mark it, come out and mark it for him if it's not marked good enough to get in there to clean out that culvert. He was worried about the guy wires on the pole, and
This is on the west end of the culvert.
well, yeah, you can see it comes across just past Westcott Road. There's a culvert right there. So it comes across toward the orchard and toward the solar park.
Yeah.
Where it dumps out there. So I don't know. I didn't get out and look at that one to see where it is. I went with him the other day and doused a couple culverts up on Daisy Hollow. That was non-functioning. One up there that he's cleaned the ends out on Raymond's property, Reed's property. I guess the material got placed in the roadway where Raymond gets access to him, so he was gonna talk to Raymond to see what we needed to do to rectify that. And to make sure we didn't interfere with his access to that field, so. They have taken some of the spent Jersey barriers that have been left when Whitcomb did the washout post Irene on West Street there. The Jersey barriers have been left up here on our rented property ever since. Well, he has taken some of them up and placed them around the culvert up toward Kenny's house. There's like a 6-foot culvert up there, and all the guardrails are gone, the fence posts that were there were gone. Last year, 2 flares got put in, but it's at least a 6-foot drop into the ravine, into the stream
This
there.
is up beyond Norton to Kenny's or?
Yeah, it's up past Sarah's, that one
Yeah.
big culvert just before Kenny's house,
Okay.
there in the side of the meadow. It's a good 6-foot drop off there, and it had nothing on and the road actually comes down, and you gotta jog this way, or you would have been in there. So he's taken out some of the Jersey barriers, he's looking to anchor some of the rail, cement, not, the metal guardrails pieces that we have up here to them.
Mhm.
He's gonna try to drill some holes and anchor them to them to try to tie them together. So I haven't been up to look at that since they did it. So I need to get him a drill and a hammer, and he said we have a generator, so he can go up and hammer that into it, so.
And is that-
Discussion on the 2004 truck up there. He thinks if we get it running and get it into the garage, maybe we can see what we can do to have it functioning for a spare vehicle. It hasn't been moved in a year and a half, or at least been sitting up there idle. He feels that the floor can be fixed where it's rotted through the floor,
Mhm.
can be patched. If the truck is reasonable, we've had a discussion before about putting a flatbed on it and putting a chloride tank on it now. But it was 2023, the last time the inspection was up. So my question was, what are we gonna get into it? You know,
Right.
if we take it to Rutland and tell them to fix it and get a bill for $10,000, it might not be worth it, but if we can
Definitely wouldn't be worth it.
see if we can, he said you'd be lucky to get 1,500 for it if you put it out for sale. We might get a little more than that, but, there might be an access to getting a dump body to go onto it. Bill had located a flatbed at one time over in Danby for 1,500, but then it would need to be shortened up over to Bill Lyles to make it fit the truck.
Yep.
And that's when I questioned the cost of what we're getting into this
Right.
wannabe spare truck. So I don't have the numbers for Coy Hill yet. We did not use nowhere near the amount of stone that I had proposed. When Chuck and I went up and met with Morgan and then Clay showed up. Everything was agreeable. Chuck did the work,
Clay was fine with it all, supportive of it.
so,
Yeah, they did a good job today.
and,
Was that done yesterday?
the stone base and the gravel on top was yesterday. And he had Casella, when the trucks came from West Rutland, he had them bring Surepack and dumped it at the firehouse before they started the project yesterday. So we had 2 loads here. When they were having a problem, he was having a problem keeping up and didn't need both tandems. He sent a Casella truck to truck more to the firehouse. And then Robert and Philip trucked that up today, and they laid down what road fabric we had, laid that down and then covered that with some of the Surepack today. Dig Safe was there today to mark to the post, the underground phone
Mm-hmm.
cable there, and where it goes from the highway, the travel portion in there, it probably isn't down a foot. So he's very limited on what he'll be able to do to shape the side of the road. Now
Yeah.
that the road's been raised, he said, because of how shallow the telephone service is and underneath it, so it doesn't disturb it.
Carl, and there's one more load. for top dressing.
Yeah.
That Chuck saved.
Yeah.
I guess,
And he'll get some more.
yeah, I guess they're gonna finish it up tomorrow,
um,
but there might be a load and a half there.
The big maple, the dead one was there. When that went over, the roots came with it. So there's just a stump like this, about this size, that's still standing of the part that had broke off before, but the other part is laid right over on the Marhars. They cut one ash tree that was on Marhars. There was a discussion about the property pin and its location in the stone wall. So Chuck had talked to him about figuring out a way to, if it got disturbed, how to place it back. So when we went up the other day and looked, they'd set 3 more pins so they can triangle it.
Triangulate off the
back.
3 pins.
And as far, it was Fowler's that I guess did that. We knew nothing about it, and Philip knew nothing about it. They set 3 pins there to triangle it back, but even it didn't touch the property.
Right.
So that's not, shouldn't an issue. Well, that could use, it will need to finish the project, but it's good for the winter if nothing more gets done. On that note,
What portion of it wound up getting fabric?
I don't know. They had one roll. They found out here behind the firehouse out on Dots. He didn't know how much had come off the roll. So the 12.5 foot roll that we had is a full roll 360 feet. So he was starting it up on top underneath the white stuff and running it down through. He said the first little bit, it was hard to keep the material on the road with the grader because it would fly. So until it got packed down some to get some resistance, and because back years ago when we put it on, we always put it down with a dozer.
Yeah.
So we were driving over it, we were pushing it on a foot at a time. So you're working it the opposite direction. So when they're driving over it and dumping it on, he's doing it with the grader, the whole thing would slide because it's a slope.
Right.
So we've had issues with that was said, but I went around there tonight when I come back and found it. We have one of the bills tonight is from John Deere. Power plan. I called United. I inquired with the boys, see what it was. It is their charge account for John Deere. That's their new name of their program. I said, we've been getting these things with 0 balances, didn't know what they were for, whether it was warranty or something. Well, it was for two pails of oil, because the new backhoe had a blown hose, and a hose that he got at John Deere for it, is what it was for. So it's their charge account through John Deere. He says, they seem to be changing the names. They created a new name for every different charge and function. So I called United about it and found out what it was and found out what it was for. So it was the backhoe.
Great.
We have some other bills we can probably look at when we get into it later, but
So, yeah, next week's finishing up Coy Hill,
well,
or
then,
today, tomorrow.
Tuesday's the 28th.
Yes.
Tuesday, Philip's leaving to go to Ohio hunting. And he'll be back on the 10th of November. So for the most part, Chuck will be solo. So
I'll be around to help out. All right, if needed, and I'm not gonna go anywhere, so if Chuck needs help, Okay, I'll be right here, especially for safety. You know, you don't want a guy out there working by himself. Yeah. You're taking an awful chance.
Now, do you fill out a time card for today?
Yeah, I put it on the paper.
Oh, yeah, out there.
I'll stop over tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
the sheet's out there.
Just so if you're going into executive, if it's about the CDL, I will stay, but any other, I will leave.
I do believe we have 3 weeks before the next meeting.
Mhm.
I do believe we typically would authorize the chairman or
Right. just-
part of the board to sign that one order.
Yeah.
Because we have 2 weeks pay and then before the next meeting, and then we have 1 week's pay. So I explained that to Chuck today, if there was 3 weeks between there. So
Yeah.
the paperwork doesn't get paid to the regular meeting, but the payroll gets paid on that 2 weeks from
Yeah.
tonight, basically.
Thank you for tracking that.
So I think this is the time that we have that 3 week break time. between the
Jenny
meetings.
usually sends out an email to remind us. Herb or myself comes in and signs it, your head did. Yeah, so it is in 3 weeks.
So.
I'm trying to.
Yeah. Great. Anything else?
No, I think we're all set.
Okay. Thank you. Orders.
No, let's do solid waste
Oh.
and correspondence. I've got a different,
If we must.
yeah, sorry about that. I've got a different version I mean, you can set it up the way you want, obviously, but I've got a different version of an agenda that I think reads a little more orderly than this. But, I mean, he's got it in the same order, but he's got some things up front. But anyway, I'll send it to you. You can do what you
Okay.
want.
Great.
The
Solid waste.
solid waste. Just a couple things. We have our, because I didn't see, I don't think Patty put it in here, but we have our 2026 hazardous waste dates. And they are Saturday, April 25. That one's in Rutland Town. And the other one is Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. That one's in Fairhaven. And just FYI, just some of the hazardous waste, it was the same day as our big dump day, so none of us got to participate, but anyway. We, town of Middletown, had 6 folks go to Fairhaven, which is an increase from last year. We had 3 last year. The total cost of that project to run the thing for the day was $10,729 and change. They had a Department of Ag grant of $1,656 and change. So the total cost was $9,072 and change. That is prorated through every member town, and which is Benson, Chittenden, Fairhaven, Middletown Springs, Pollitt, Rutland Town, Shrewsbury, Sudbury, Tinmouth, and West Haven. So our share prorated will be $532.72. We'll get a bill for that later on, but I just wanted to share that. They collected a bunch of stuff, but they collected 250 gallons of paint, which they'll send through the paint care program, and that's at no charge because that's borne by the manufacturer when it's borne by people when they buy paint from the manufacturer. What else did I want? Oh, and relative to us, SWAC, Solid Waste Alliance Communities, they had their annual meeting last week. I forgot, or 2 weeks ago. Amanda attended. Thank goodness I forgot to. I got tied up with something, but anyway. Castleton and Hubbardton are petitioning, looking into joining SWAC, pulling out of Rutland County Solid Waste District. This is a lot of gobbledygook, maybe chicane, but. And in order to do that, there's a process. They have to put it out to their voters at town meeting. And then I think we, SWAC, would have to allow them to join with us. And that would help in something like this, hazardous waste collection days, because we're a small town, so that would prorate it out and our costs would be a little bit less. So a bigger town joining SWAC would actually be advantageous to us. Fairhaven joined, I don't remember, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe it was longer than that, but anyway, just FYI, you might, get some communication and stuff on it.
Is Pam still the?
Pam is still a coordinator, yeah. Yeah, does a great job. That's all on solid waste. Correspondence, so let's do this first, so we don't forget, because we forgot to do it last time. We have an application from Nelson Hernandez wants to join the Conservation Commission. We forgot to act on it last time, and I don't know who Nelson Hernandez is, but I don't know if anybody else does, but
I do.
I think usually we've been seeking members. So if he's interested, I think that would be fine to appoint him, and there we go.
Is he a voter? Is he a voter? It's a good question. I believe he is. He and Liv Lane, Mickey and David Lane, Liv is one of their offspring, and Liv and Nelson are living up at Michael and Leslie's in their houses. So I think Nelson would be a great addition to the Conservation Commission, and we move to appoint him to the Middletown Springs Conservation Commission. Is this until town meeting, or is this a 3-year?
Good question. I don't remember what we did with our last one.
There are open seats on there.
Yeah,
It has it right there. It
seats.
should be right there in the book. Back a little further. Yeah. The appointments. Goes right at the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
It looks like Steve Harrington is good till 2026, the 4-year vacancy in 26. Beth Carmody for 27, a vacancy for 25, and Elizabeth Cooper resigned with a completion date of 26.
We appointed, who was it? We appointed not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, a month ago. I'm drawing a blank. We appointed somebody anyway, and I don't remember what that was.
Well, so basically it would have to be elected, appointed till March.
Still,
If it's an elected position, all things are only appointed to the next one,
right.
unless they had,
And it is an elected position, so.
unless they had enough votes to pick a seat, but.
Right.
So my motion is to appoint him until
Until
town meeting 2026.
town meeting 2026.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
Thank you.
Hearing none, those in favor? Aye.
All right.
And Lucky Nelson.
I'll try to send him, I don't know how to get a hold of him. Do we have an email?
I think we will let him know.
He does have an email. I can send him an email if you want.
Okay.
Meeting 2026. Okay. There's that. We forgot to act on it last time. Oh, and another thing we forgot to act on last time, before I forget that too, was I'll do this now instead of board orders. I'll move to approve our board orders from September, September 25th, from a month or so ago. We had a meeting. There were only 3 of us present, and we had some differences of opinion and whatnot, and the meeting adjourned early. So we didn't get to any of that stuff, and we didn't approve our board orders. We came in individually the next day and each signed orders so that we could do payroll for the men. And we should have done that last time, but we forgot to. So in
You move that?
retrospect or
Retroactive.
retroactive, thank you, I was close. I'll move to approve the board orders from September 25th retroactively.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Carl. And I know you weren't part of that, Robin, at that time, but sorry about that, but there's only 3 of us here.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye, thank you.
Thank you for wrapping that up, Terry.
Good, got that out of the way. Okay. Correspondence, we have a bunch of things here. This power plan thing that Carl was talking about. We've been getting these notices for several months, but they've all had a 0 balance.
Right.
So all of a sudden,
So
this one's got the $273.20 balance. So at least now we know what
on
it
the
is.
on the 3rd page, I think it's where it says United of Rutland. I think it's there where it's charged. to.
United Ag and Turf
So,
governmental transaction.
I called them and,
Well, we knew it was John Deere,
yeah, but
but
it's all because of that charge on that stuff they got. And unfortunately, I didn't get a copy of anything that they signed when they picked it up to go with that. Yeah, so I took it to them and inquired. There's
well,
nothing in
even Bill was still here at that time. He didn't know what it was either, so. Anyway, we won't get it paid, obviously, this time,
Okay,
unless we wanted to do a manual order, and I don't think it's that critical. I think we can do it next time. That's our right-of-way agreement. They just made a copy of this. I don't know why we got this. We have a October 2nd statement from Hubbard Brothers with I don't know if that must be from them saying balance due 7,713.95, circled in red with a big arrow to it. And obviously we get these bills twice a month and we pay them. Jenny pays them. We approve them. So
Was that large dumpster day?
no, that wouldn't have been in here yet. This is
That's just.
October 2nd, and dumpster day was October 4th. So I don't know what Jenny didn't know what the deal was. I don't know. Their accounting got screwed up or what? I have no idea. But I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. Other correspondence. Our VLC 2027 member dues, $2,325. That'll go in there.
We all got the email about that, how that assessment's going up.
Right. We have our proposal, or it's just an estimate, so they claim, but our Blue Cross Blue Shield health plan coverage for 2026. I can't remember what it is right now. I think I don't know, it's probably in the board orders. The estimate for January 1 will be $1,198.19. Trump hasn't managed to bring that down, but he has everything else, but we have a proposal from Elizabeth Cooper to do the town report. We'll talk about that next time. I made a note of that. Town report preparation. Anybody can look at that if they want to, though, for her proposal. This is
Last year, huh?
yeah, she did it last year. And we have the report and the request for the allocation from the Vermont Association for the Blind for the town report for next year. And those, we have a folder in there for the town report, so that's where I'll put that. And here's something, I'll see what you folks think. We have a little love letter from the state of Vermont Department of Taxes, letting us know, which we already knew this, 2025 reappraisal compliance status out of compliance. And then, according to our records, town of Middletown last performed a reappraisal in 2006 and has no pending plan on file, yada, 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 yada. What should you do next? Share it, number one, share this document with your select board to determine a budget for your reappraisal. For drafting your RFP. Number two, identify a reappraisal contractor. Number three, complete and submit the RA-308 tax form, which is a state of Vermont form, to PVR, which is Property Valuation and Review, State of Vermont Property Valuation and Review. Review the PVR road website, contact your district advisor with questions. We've done all this stuff. We've put out an RFP for reappraisal. We've signed a contract with, I can't remember, NEMRIT that does all of our financials. So we have done this. Other than, I don't know if we've contacted the state of Vermont to let them know we've done it, but we've already done this stuff.
And when is that to happen? The reappraisal?
29.
2029.
I told somebody that I thought it was 2028 this year, so I was jumping the gun.
2029.
Is the
So there's
earliest that
our,
they could- Yeah,
number
that's
one,
all.
I think it's ridiculous that they say they want to do it every 6 years. I don't know how they came up with 6 years. 10 years seems logical to me. That's just me. I don't know how they got 6 years. But I mean, we got a long time out of it. We got, since 2006, and you can do if it's not a wild change and whatever, they can do a statistical update like they did. So we got, 20 years out of it or whatever, but we did our due diligence last year because we knew we were out of compliance and we did the RFP and all that. And everybody is swamped because everybody in the state of Vermont, everybody across country probably with COVID and everything else, real estates, the values just went nuts. And so anyway, we did our thing and it's 2029. So we'll probably get 2 or 3 more letters of those telling us we're out of compliance, which we already know. But we've got a plan in place for whatever it's worth.
Does it bring a problem with the audit?
No. And shouldn't anyway. Because we'll have proof that we have a plan in place and so it shouldn't affect that.
Yeah.
I don't
No, we
believe.
need a plan in place for Fort Dumpster.
Fort Dumpster, and we need a plan in place for a garage before December next year.
Fort Dumpster's been out of compliance and temporary permit for.
It's
Since
existing.
I was on the board, I think 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You were on the board 30 years ago, 25 years ago.
But nobody in the community wants it to move.
Right. And we don't have a place, well, we do have a place, but we got some work to do now and then. Yeah, I think these are the things you mentioned, Carl. We have we need receipts for salt for documentation, and we also have a statement or a bill statement from
Nobles.
Ace Hardware with no receipts.
Yeah, just one.
So whatever we want to do with that.
Yeah, from 9/17. I said there's no, I don't see any receipt up there. The day that I did this is when they emailed the weight slips for the salt that went into the sand that got delivered to Casellas. So that's why you don't have slips. It never physically came here. It went there. So there is a copy of them two slips that came the same day that we had this bill to pay, so.
So, however,
Nothing simple.
nothing is simple.
Well, actually, I mean, that is pretty simple. It's just.
We have the bill. We have the bill. And it's earmarked for the winter salt. I don't know why it's not on the order. So if we get a late fee for $6,500, it could have been avoided by paying it. And it's been hard coded for the winter salt. No.
Generally, I think they don't really hit us with a late fee or whatever. I think they work with us, but. And we also got a 2025 Vermont Municipal Compensation and Benefits report. So you can look up any town in the state of Vermont and it'll show you what they're paying for their road foreman, casual labor, their solid waste guy, their office assistant, their whatever. There's some pretty good useful information. If you
It's useful information, but pity that person has to compile it.
yeah, must be exciting. You love that type of stuff.
It must be a board assistant.
Yeah.
That stuff for them.
So I'm going to town report this, I think I'll leave them there. That's correspondence, so then we can, sorry, Robin, and now we can move on to
Fine.
board orders. I think I've run my mouth long enough.
It's, I don't, we're.
Link of taxes collected. Yeah. Our Blue Cross Blue Shield is $1,138.18. What did I say their proposal was?
That's funny.
About the same, wasn't it?
Yeah. Not what I've been hearing, but.
1,198. That can't be right. Is that less? No, 13. 1,138 to 1,198. That's big. Initially, their first request when they came out this spring or May, June, whatever, they were saying 23% in Vermont, and they were 23%, and MVP was like 13%. But when they finally dust settled, they were, I don't know, 10%, and or was it less than 10%, 7%, and MVP was like 3% or something. I guess they must have aimed high or something.
It doesn't look like on Hubbard's statement that we have any balance forward. Because this ended was, they charged a financial fee, a charge on 10/2. And this one started 10/13. Well, this was all large dump day bills. Maybe.
No,
It's not showing any previous balance.
I don't know. Did they just cross in the mail or what? Because that's like totally unusual.
Because it would have been partially the
I guess that's-
orders from the 9/25 meeting and wonder if the checks didn't get sent
Last two, if you want to.
until late.
This is the treasure. What's this?
Yeah. I remember having this discussion several years ago and obviously this is the outcome, it hasn't changed, but I remember what the logic was.
That I don't know, but it shouldn't have been late because we all came in and signed them Friday morning because, you know, so the highway guys would get their checks. And
It's
we
not,
weren't made aware of anything that didn't get sent out.
it's not showing anything for a late or past due balance on this slip on this one. So it must be just didn't get credited on their end.
I don't think it's anything that I would even,
It doesn't look like it's worth a phone call now.
no, I don't think it's even anything I'd respond to a phone call.
It's your phone. That's
Eight
good.
802 503 3657. I don't know if you've got my, I sent an email for like business stuff. For everything, this one right here. This email.
Okay.
So it's like Middletown,
Um,
put ADMN at Gmail.
Right. Thank you.
not that it will make any difference, but an annual inspection for the highway department is on the town's order, just, I don't know how it made it there, but
Is that the fire extinguishers?
yeah. $8 per unit. Um. It got put on this order. So I don't have, I didn't see it, so there's no code from the highway department on it, so.
Oh,
That many towns, but it's on the this book.
Yes.
yes. Yeah, it's got everything. Sorry, you can.
Curious how we contrast everything. It's probably pretty small.
Yeah, well, last time I looked, we were pretty comparable. We were a little on the low side on some things, but
Like
it was kind of be
750?
expected and, or kind of to be expected for a small town.
I think we're
750,
800.
800.
Oh,
799.
794, something like that.
Big town.
I
Yeah,
think I just texted you, so you have that.
Oh, yes.
Sell now.
Service.
yeah. That is just.
So the Wi-Fi password written down somewhere in here.
I think it's just Middletown.
Did she say right there?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I think she told.
She said the Zoom app wasn't working.
It pulled up. I thought. Where? Yeah. See it, Robin. What was it? 802-503-3657.
That was Philip coming, Robert, for,
What's that again?
that was Philip coming for his CDL.
802-503.
Chuck and I worked with him today
Yeah.
and he can,
Conditional service.
tailgate spread really good. He's done it, you know. He gets a little nervous, but,
Yeah.
he's come along.
Like a Wi-Fi only. Plans, maybe. That's what I heard about.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
Oh, he is, he really is.
Yeah.
Truly is. Yeah, hopefully we can get that under his belt when he gets back from Ohio, because we're at to be getting snow almost any time.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing very
That's
well.
good.
And so is Chuck.
Yeah, oh, Chuck's doing good, yeah.
So do you, and you have one?
Yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna get.
Yeah, he was a good find.
Pleasure.
Bless you, thank you.
Population 666. Here.
Really?
That'll be bad.
I wonder when they,
666. I
wow,
don't know when this is published.
Yeah.
25.
well, they were- yeah,
Is this using census information, please?
Are their records more accurate than, they use
Census?
this, they use the census records to bill us for Fulton Rescue Squad and everything else,
Based on a higher number?
based on, yeah, like the 794 number.
This got 66.
I don't know,
Is that a,
is that taxpayers number?
is that a checklist?
I wonder,
The
if that-
number,
yes,
the
yeah,
number of
yeah,
voters on
yeah,
the checklist?
yes, checklist number,
Is that different than the population?
Let's see.
it's more accurate, that's right, sounds like it.
What's the other poll on this?
World Population Review says Middletown Springs has a 2025 population of 191.
Let's go with that number.
Who's that one from?
World Population Review. 2020, it was 794, 2020 census.
Or 100.
Census reporter says 134.
It says respondent population. Not sure.
Doesn't seem that, yeah. Actually. Is that something, Robin, I'll let you look at, is that something we should pass on to Kate, or I don't mean to burden him with, you know, like, secretarial tasks, but.
Need to make sure that we have,
Well, I know we've signed a contract with Nemrick,
we should contact PVR.
so, yeah, I don't know what that form is and exactly what that form will ask, but it says, I think it says scan a copy of the contract and fill it out on the website, which, you know, I mean, I can do that too, but
You wanted to take that on?
What's this for? It's
So this
that's
is the,
that, where this flies
reappraisal.
out of risk, because we're
okay,
out of compliance. I don't know where,
Shouldn't we have the listers do that?
well, that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually, it seems like we should have the listers do it, because
they probably have already done it, because
maybe they've already done it.
their advisor, Christy Wright, worked with them to do the,
Yeah,
put out the
put out
paperwork
RFP.
for people to
yeah, they
bid,
say the RA 308.
so. And,
Or that's
she's their advisor.
Just put this in the
That's-
master folder.
That's a question for them, yeah, good point. I'll just leave it in the folder and I'll ask. Sally, send her an email, ask Sally if you've done that. This is where stuff is, you know. Who does what?
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's kind of what Patty was mentioning to define the roles.
yeah,
I don't know, where you draw the line between clerical work and the word assistant work.
Right,
Where do you draw that line?
good question. So,
You're saying like manage the keys and
I mean, it's, because we were thinking of where we wanted a lot of help, or, you know, where we needed help was to try to do the grants, yeah, fill out grant paperwork and track it. If it's awarded, and then to track it, follow through all the different layers and dot the i's and cross the t's and.
yeah. Terry, when I contacted for the LCT for like to get them to forward me the grants. Patty's been like forwarding to me.
Right,
If I just contact the LCT and will they send them to me directly, you think?
I would think so.
Yeah,
I would think so. You say who you are, obviously, and you're, you know, working for the select board, and I suspect they would.
is it pretty rare that we qualify for one of those grants?
Well, it depends. We've been very successful in getting highway grants, and
Right,
as you know, we got a huge library grants. We got a couple of energy efficiency grants and stuff when we built this building. So I wouldn't say it's rare. I'd say we've had pretty good success. And some of those things, sometimes they're out there and, you know, they have a certain pot of money, and then enough different communities don't apply and whatever, so.
Yeah, there's one like the other day that said like, if you have like an old bus, they'll change it for like an electric one.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
I saw that. That was a Volkswagen
mitigation money.
Dieselgate settlement, and there's just another one last week, and I can't remember what that was.
It was like,
But I looked it up. There's a bunch of highway stuff, and you could do, I
This
don't
fall.
remember, but some of them were like sign packages and stuff. But it wasn't the sign, you know, it wasn't the speed limit signs like what we're looking for. It was some other things.
yeah,
There's a November 7th deadline to apply for salt and sand facilities for that grant program. But we got to have established on what it's gonna be and where it's gonna be.
Yeah,
But too early in that stage, I think, to,
more concrete plans than what we've got at this point.
I need like, blueprints and.
you know, so. But there is that type of funding. They had, today, there was the Regional Transportation and Regional Planning Commission was doing a training in West Rutland for this district. They had I think a 4-hour training today in West Rutland. That I saw, that they were looking for warm bodies for.
The salt fund, we're not looking to get that one this year.
I don't think we have what we need in place to, you know, if we, you gotta have the estimates or something to work from to do your grants, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've had studies done on West Street, we've had but thousands and thousands of dollars down there, and it doesn't fit, you know, and stay out of the floodplain and all that, so. Go back to our bills.
Okay. Entertain the motion on the orders.
I'll move to approve board orders as presented.
I'll second.
There's no further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And orders are approved as presented. I believe the only thing left on the agenda is the executive session. Unless-
Yeah, hopefully we don't have anything legal or illegal. We don't have any, if we have no other business. I'll move to enter executive session to discuss personnel issues at 10:16, is that right?
Carl, I'll stay if it's a, you know, well, that's fine. For the CDL. No, okay, good.
So we'll be
Thank you,
through with
Robert.
everyone,
Thank you.
correct?
I-
Just
Just the three of them,
the
I guess.
three of us, yeah, so we'll excuse Robert and Kate. Thank you
You're all
very
set to
much.
shut
Kate.
this off now?
We'll figure
Oh,
out
yes,
this
well, hit that.
Yeah.
Good night, gentlemen. Good night, Robert.
relocation.
Good night, Kate.
Paths.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything let me know if I burden you with
No,
trivial stuff.
Did you return last night?
no.
What's that? Did you return last night?
Thank you
Yeah,
for all
I
you've
left
done so far.
Yeah,
I'll move out of executive session at, looks like 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
One second.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
The action is, that I'll implement a time clock system for the highway garage in the future.
Carol, implement time clock system for highway garage in the future.
By
Absolutely.
consensus.
I'll, do some pricing and see if I need to come back. If not, we'll just get it done.
Yeah. Good. Any further business? If not,
Move to adjourn.
adjourn.
We'll all move to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
That was separate.
Yes, the meeting adjourned at 11:02.
Move to